What in the wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number, and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The travel listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning, one and all. Welcome to Mornings with Mike Winters. I am he. That would be me, Mike Winters. Happy Friday, everybody. Yeah.
I had to reset the bell. It was
still.
It was just depressed.
It was sleeping in. Happy Friday.
That's right.
We made it. Mm-hmm. We are 2 weeks away from Christmas, right?
And can I point out the fact that all week it's been real, like, drab, dreary, cloudy, kind of, Friday comes. Mm-hmm. Blue skies.
There it is.
Blue
it's going to be
skies.
windy,
We can
though.
see the sun today. Shut up, Mike.
It's going to change.
Thanks, Captain Pessimism.
Oh, we get all excited.
I'm over here being all the optimistic over here, and Patty Pessimism has to come and rain on my parade.
Well, I don't want people to be getting up and like, oh, Sean's talking about how blue the sky is. I'm going to put my t-shirts and shorts on.
There's blue in the sky. I was literally making a factual statement.
And then we're going to be in a dust bowl later today.
I got to say, dude, the winds yesterday, because I was over in Artesia, it was whipping yesterday.
They were a little swirly here.
Yeah.
When I left to the office yesterday, a little after 4, I could see like the little swirly, like the leaves are doing their little swirly dance there. Yeah.
They're dancing with me.
Yeah, so I saw that. So it's coming in, but yeah, it's going to be windy today. So the skies are blue and the sun is out, but the winds will be as well. We'll get you up to date with that here in just a little bit. It is a McDonald's Friday.
Yes, indeed.
We must thank the fine folks. I see that you have gotten Tanner on Team Orange High C there.
I'm telling you, dude, Team Lava Burst, there's a reason that they brought this back. Because, there's a reason that the people brought this back.
The people, yeah.
It's just too good.
It's just Orange High C, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just people who want to pretend like we're having orange juice in the morning. Orange Lava Burst. But I got to tell you, I discovered a hack.
Okay.
With this, because I'm a huge fan of the maple raisin oatmeal.
Oatmeal, yes.
Yes. So I discovered a hack this morning. If you
put the fruit in,
combine your fruit,
tastes better.
Okay, no, hold on. I'm not done.
Creamer.
Take a single container, a single packet of the French Vanilla International Delights creamer. Okay. Add that bad boy in there, stir it up. And I swear to you, and I just discovered this morning, so I was like, wow, this tastes just like an oatmeal raisin cookie.
Wow.
Just like it.
Wow.
I mean, like spot on, like an oatmeal raisin cookie from that place that we frequent for lunch that has the really good cookies that we're not supposed to mention on a McDonald's Friday. You know what I'm talking about. It tastes just like one of those oatmeal cookies.
All right.
Telling you, I've made a discovery with this. This is my new favorite thing at McDonald's.
All right. So if you want little oatmeal cookie pick-me-up, I
don't know if it works with all French vanilla, but specifically the International Delight French Vanilla Creamer. It specifically works with that one.
All right. Is that something we have here, or is that
that's just the ones we have.
Okay, so you have to procure that on your own. But maybe try with one of the regular creamers and see if you get the same, maybe it'll be less French.
I would bet if you ask McDonald's to just put a little square of the French vanilla syrup in there, like their coffee, I bet they would do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure they would.
So let me ask you a question. What's the difference between vanilla and French vanilla?
I actually read this once. It has something to do with where the beans are grown.
France?
Well, specifically, yeah, it's a French bean.
Does the beans grown in France taste different than the beans growing in the rest of the world?
Yeah. This is the thing. If you've ever had like a potato in like a certain part of the country versus another part of the country, you know that it has everything to do with like soil, water, quality of water, care, techniques and things like that. So Yeah, something about the quality of the soil. I think maybe it's volcanic ash. I don't know, but something about the soil in that region makes for a better vanilla bean.
Okay.
I guess.
All right.
I got it.
It's a bit of a stretch, but I'll give it to him. I think it's just marketing.
Thanks to In a Garden, I also figured out how to make my own vanilla extract. All you have to do is have like a full like fifth of vodka and then just some vanilla beans. You drop in a container, pour vodka on top. 6 months later, you have vanilla extract.
Oh, there you go.
Not to mention a fantastic shot for parties.
Yeah. You know what? I guess I learned via going to Mexico that Mexico is like a big deal for vanilla extract.
Yeah, huge. Well, because they grow it's Mexican vanilla. It's a completely different type or style of vanilla.
Well, I didn't realize that till like my mom and stuff was like, "Oh, you're going to get vanilla extract." I'm like, "Really? You want me to go grocery shopping in Mexico?" No, and they have like I'm like, "Okay," and then but ever since then, like all my vanilla extract is when my in-laws or somebody goes to Mexico and gets some.
I'll give you a prime example. I'm sure you've had cinnamon by itself and it tastes, it's good.
Yeah.
But then you've had like, let's say for example, a Cinnabon cinnamon roll. And you know how their cinnamon tastes completely different?
Yeah, I'll take your word for that.
I found out recently that the cinnamon that most like industries use, like there's over-the-counter cinnamon is just like grown wherever. There's a certain region of India that is responsible for like 90% of the commercial cinnamon that you like. The cinnamon flavor in Cinnamon Toast Crunch, the cinnamon flavor on Cinnabon. That cinnamon is specifically grown in like a 20 square mile region of India.
Interesting.
Yeah. It's crazy that all of our vanilla comes from that one little spot.
I got a vanilla dissertation here from Andrew Moore.
Fancy.
Vanilla is used to make ice cream, which are paler and excuse me, let me start over. Vanilla is used to make ice creams, which are paler and whiter in color, whereas French vanilla is yellowish and richer in texture.
Oh.
Vanilla has flecks added to them. French vanilla has flecks strained out of them.
Oh.
Vanilla is cream-based ice cream, whereas French vanilla is custard-based with egg yolk.
I see.
For developing a vanilla fragrance, fruity or floral scents are blended to vanilla. French vanilla is its own scent.
So
there's your difference.
Nice.
That was
now you know.
Thank you, Andrew. That was way more information than I
She's like, ooh, finally I get to put my vanilla degree to good use.
She just Mr. Wizarded us with vanilla.
See, I knew if I got my doctorate in vanilla, it would pay off one day. There it is.
Sorry, I'm Dr. Chocolate.
Now I will tell you this: if at all possible, and this has everything to do with vanilla flavoring, nothing to do with the fine folks and quality ingredients at McDonald's. If at all possible, avoid artificial vanilla flavoring.
Okay.
I recently found out what artificial flavoring actually is.
Not real.
It's secreted from I believe it's a beetle's butt. It's basically like the secretions that come out of like the anal glands of a beetle.
My question is,
no, it's the salivary. It's like saliva. It's some like byproduct of a beetle.
To be honest, that doesn't bother me.
No, I'm sorry. It's the anal glands of like a beaver. That's what it is. That's what it is. Yeah, it's the anal.
Now
hold on.
Now, in all fairness,
I have to look this up.
You tell me that information. I'm like, okay, fine. I get things come from weird places. I get it. My question is,
there's Professor.
My question is, who is extracting said materials from beavers and finding out that this is what it takes to make artificial tasting?
That's what I want to know is who walked up on the backside of a beaver and was like, hey, let's taste that real quick. Yeah. Castoreum, traditionally used in Sweden for flavoring a variety of schnapps. It's made from beaver shout, or the extracted anal glands of a beaver. Yeah, but that leads me to wonder, how have we been avoiding just sucking on beaver butts for generations now?
But my thing
it tastes like this.
There's like some people sitting around tasting this vanilla. It's like it's missing something. I know. Go grab that beaver. I'm like, where does that happen?
The same place where John Kellogg was sitting in front of a bowl of dry cornflakes saying, this is missing something. Hey, go suck on that cow in the field and tell me what happens. Yeah. Same thing.
I mean, that's the part I'm like, huh?
Right. Somebody had to suck on an end of an animal to figure out what flavors came out.
Well,
Which is great because that was trial and error.
I'm sure.
Because there was like 16
First,
other...
like penguin, no. Aardvark, no.
All right, fine.
Is that a possum? All right, let's try that.
Oh, okay.
Beaver.
You got your face mask on. Fine, bring over the honey badger.
Bees.
You got to figure honey badger in the name. It's got to mean something.
Oh man.
I think what we're really trying to say is thank you to the fine folks at McDonald's. 2 locations here in Roswell, one in Artesia, one in Carlsbad. Use the app. Download the app for savings.
Sometimes you just don't want to know. Just go. just eat it. Enjoy.
I know.
And now everyone's like, I'm not eating vanilla again.
But I had to find out, and now so do you.
I don't care. Now I just got that image. But big thank you to McDonald's. Mm-hmm. I'm telling you, here's a move for you. Ask for green chili in a cup when you're at McDonald's.
Yeah.
And you just liberally sprinkle that stuff all over your hash browns, your sandwich. I'd even say throw in that oatmeal. Why not? And have a little party there.
So what I did last week was you take one of their breakfast burritos and you crack it open like one would like a Christmas cracker. Little green chili on either side of your crackling. It's good eating.
Good to go. All right. Well, thank you to McDonald's. Swung on by any of our McDonald's here. Coming soon, the South Main one. Also, they are looking for employees to be a part of their team. Log on to mchire.com to do that today. And don't forget, the Snowberger family loves to promote within. So a lot of their folks that are part of his management team started out entry-level positions at McDonald's. So
That's right.
Start your path today, mchire.com. Let me give you the rundown for today's show. Here at about 7:30 or so, Mayor Dennis Kentai will join us, recap last night's city council meeting. In the 8 o'clock hour, about 8:15, Chaves County Sheriff Mike Harrington will join us, give us an update on what's happening around the county, talking about some of the, it's always busy. There's always a lot of stuff every couple weeks when we talk to him.
Big crash downtown yesterday.
Yeah.
Might have gathered.
Yeah, very, it was on its side. You don't see that very often.
I know.
Around here.
That's a hard hit.
But the sad thing is we're seeing more and more accidents. People, you need to learn to drive. There is some bad drivers out there. And I mean, like I'll tell you, and this is
just
normally
full Harpo.
normally I'm complaining and I probably will, but this is really a public service announcement. I drive every day down the stretch of Main Street from here downtown to about the hospital, to about Farmers, actually. That's Farmers North. That stretch. And I see, and what's that, 4 miles, 5 miles, maybe? 4. Yeah. I see more dumbness in that 4 stretch of mile every day. And it's going to work when there's just me and 2 other people. And when I leave, when everybody and their uncle's trying to go somewhere, it doesn't matter. I see dumbness everywhere. People just turning, going from one lane to the other without even looking, trying to get in the left turn lane and leaving their back half of their car in the main thing. You know, when you get hit, that's your fault. If you're in the turn lane and your back end's hanging out in the middle and you get hit, guess whose fault that is? Yours, because your vehicle's not properly placed there. You realize you idiots that just half pull into these turn lanes, and I call you idiots because you do it consistently.
One of the things that drives me nuts is people are like, well, that's not a turn lane, that's a bike lane. Is there a bike within 4 miles of us? Could you utilize it as a turn lane? Thanks.
Well, I don't mind that so much, but I hate the guys that the people that and here's a popular intersection. College, they do it. Sycamore, Maine, I've seen it done 100 times. Is that the turn lane is a certain distance. Then you get people when the traffic light gets backed up, they'll get in the turn lane like a mile back and start hauling down the shoulder. That's dangerous too because you're not supposed to. And people, someone could just easily, I don't know. It's just it's a recipe for disaster.
It is.
And people do it all the time. And I'm like, you realize that's illegal, what you're doing there. But
I agree with you, but I have done that.
I've seen people do it. I've done it. I don't do it often, but I mean,
you know where I
in the past
notoriously do
I
it?
have done. But I normally don't do that.
I'll tell you where I notoriously do it. Is the intersection of Main and First in Artesia.
Yeah.
Right there at the brewer, or that intersection. I do it notoriously there every time, right next to the stripes.
Yeah. I see people do it. I shake my head because I'm waiting because I've almost seen accidents 3 times. People doing that mess.
Because at any point in time, the people in this lane could just decide, well, I want to get in the turn lane.
So if
you're going to jump in that lane, first of all, if you're going to do that illegal thing, go a little slower and be aware of what's happening in front of you.
Well, and then
Or
when
just don't
someone
do it.
does it, it's their fault, And it's like, well, you just as dumb as that person was, because if you weren't doing dumb things yourself, you wouldn't have been in that scenario to begin with. So, and that's the part people always say, but no. If you're doing wrong too, you don't get to do that.
Right.
If you're both wrong, this would have been avoided because both of you did things that were wrong.
What do two wrongs make? An accident.
So, I swear, folks, use your turn signals, get in the turn lanes, do the speed limit too, because that's the other thing. Everyone's either doing 80 on that road or 20. There is a speed limit here, and you can either people drive 10 miles under that thing or 20 miles over it. There's dude, at least 30.
And I will say that one washes the hand of the other.
Yeah.
Because if those people would stop going 10 miles under the speed limit, people like me would stop getting frustrated. And as soon as they move, going, pedal to the metal, flooring it,
They just get that
We're compensating for them being slow.
Yeah. But you need to find a happy balance.
Sure.
The slow people need to pick up the pace.
Absolutely.
These lead foots need to slow her down.
Just a bit.
Yeah.
Just a bit.
It's a combination of everybody. But anyway, I forgot what I was
It's a happy
talking
medium.
about.
Much like oatmeal with raisins.
Well, it's a dance, man. It's
like oatmeal with raisins.
And that's the thing when driving, it's a dance. The busy roads, it's a dance. It's an orchestra, and everyone has to play their part. Get to speed, get in there, do it. If you do that, it moves a lot smoother. When you got the knuckleheads that got to go way below the speed limit or are too apprehensive to change lanes, or they're the nervous drivers. The nervous drivers are more dangerous than the aggressive drivers. Because the nervous drivers are indecisive.
Because they hesitate.
And they cause an accident every time.
The aggressive drivers are at least confident, and they know that if they're going to make a move, it's a power move, and if they're going to get an accident, well, doggone it, they're going to get the best accident possible.
Now, I'm not defending aggressive drivers. Those people are clown shoes, too.
Absolutely.
But you nervous Nellies are just as dangerous as those people are. That's all I'm telling you. So stop. Be decisive. I'm turning left. Don't be like, I don't know. Does it look good? I don't know. It doesn't. I'm going to go. That's what they do.
Mike has turned into the Kermit the Frog sipping tea meme. He's like, but that's just me.
I don't think I'd be nearly as aggressive driving if there weren't stupid people.
Yeah.
You're not wrong.
Yeah. Oh, it's a dance. It takes
Like
all
I said,
to
one
tango.
washes the hand of the other. I'm telling you. The stupids make, the aggressive folks like us, more aggressive.
I don't consider myself aggressive. I consider myself a good driver. I do generally the speed limit. If I go above, it's because that's what traffic's doing. I signal. I get fully in left lanes.
I largely consider myself a very good driver.
Yeah.
In that I signal, I maintain my lane, I don't weave. I've never been a lane dancer. I don't go in excessive speed. I'm not aggressive like that. So I largely consider myself a good driver, a decent driver. I stop short of saying I'm a good driver, and I think maybe that's more just like my self-esteem issues that are rearing their ugly head. Like I can never say I'm good at anything completely, But yeah, I hesitate to say I'm a good driver. I'm a decent driver.
Yeah. And then my other pet peeve is, please, after you take your driver's ed test and study all those traffic laws, remember them.
That's a thought.
I don't know how many times I get at four-way stops and intersections, and idiots don't know how to navigate through there. They taught you in your driver's ed class.
Person to your right has the right of way.
Yes, it's four-way stop if you
Problem
arrive at the
is,
same time.
That person has a person on their right, that person has a person on their right, and you're on their right.
Right. So, but if you look at it, the person on your right is the same. It works out that way.
Yeah. When in doubt, just look for the person that goes flip with their headlights or first, and then just do that. And then, what I love is when you get in that awkward conversation, like both people going,
yeah,
you go, no, you go, no, you go. We're being too polite. You know what? I'll go.
And then you've got some people, and I God bless you, but you're messing things up too. Some people that try to be over helpful. Like I have this a lot, like because there's one spot where I turn, and sometimes it gets backed up by the stoplight that's there. So if there's in the afternoon there's a bunch of cars there, I'll stop and wait for my turn to cross. And sometimes you get people in there and they'll stop and wait for you and tell you to go. Problem is you're only having one lane of the two that are there. And so the guy, like the other day, the guy's telling me to go and he's like waving at me.
Yeah, you're not holding that lane for me. I know.
Yeah,
I know
there's
exactly
a bunch of cars coming that way. I'm waiting until then. So he's sitting there waiting. And finally I said, go, dummy.
I will tell you this. I've had that happen to me before where I'll stop and go and wave somebody in from like a gas station parking lot to the road.
Yeah.
And then I realize there's nobody behind me. I could have just gone 10 inches ahead and he would just be able to go.
Yeah, they're trying to be
Dang it.
hopeful. It's like, well, pay attention around you first. I appreciate your effort, but you're actually gumming up the works here. Just
A bit.
go about your day.
Yeah, a bit.
It is 7:25. Let's do this. Let's get you up to date on the weather. I haven't even done that. I've been ranting about vanilla and bad drivers.
Bit of morning, man.
Yeah, bit of morning.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cool and very windy today. Gusts of 45 to 50 miles per hour through the day. Some blowing dust will be possible. We should have sunshine and our high in the upper 60s. For tonight, partly cloudy down to the mid-20s and breezy. And then sunny and cool weather coming up for Saturday with our high in the mid-50s, mid-60s, and fair on Sunday and a little gusty. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently 54 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 57%. Winds says out of the south at 14, but I don't see many of my trees whipping around much, so that might be a bit high at the moment. But unfortunately, we've got a wind advisory that's in effect right now through 7 p.m. We got a red flag warning that will kick in at 10 o'clock this morning and remain in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. That's because the wind and all that's happening today. Expect some areas of blowing dust for this afternoon. The good news is mostly sunny, highs near 66. But winds will be up today out of the south, 15 to 20 earlier today. Later this afternoon, increase in 25 to 30. We could see wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour later today. And to be honest, the way I'm looking at the weather, it looks like we're actually getting kind of a respite from some of this from the rest of the state. Wind and even farther up north, showers, snow, and all that good stuff. So we'll see. But for us, it looks like just a bunch of wind. Partly cloudy tonight. Expect an overnight low of 23. Yeah, it's going to be chilly. North winds at 15 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, sunny skies, highs only in the mid-50s tomorrow. 55 officially with northwest winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, we're looking at clear skies. Overnight low of 23 once again. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Just to give you some perspective, you know how it was kind of nice last night? We were overnight low in like mid-40s, 45. So we're going to have to see like a 20-degree drop in our overnight lows from last night to tonight. So, yeah, you're going to notice that difference. Sunday, we'll be back up into the low 60s, sunny and 63. Winds out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. And then when you head back to work Monday, sunny skies, highs near 70, 69 officially. And looks like we'll be hanging in the mid-70s for the first half of next week. Hey, it is 7:27 before we take a break here. I would invite you to come out to Christ Church at 2200 Sycamore here in Roswell this Sunday. The Flying J Wranglers will be there doing their free show, a White Mountain Christmas. They're amazing entertainers. They're going to be doing 2 show times this Sunday at Christ Church, a 3 p.m. showing and then a 5:30 p.m. showing. Again, it's free admission. They will be doing a love offering for folks that would like to donate to the church. But you're not obligated to. So if you don't have no money, come on out, enjoy it. And I was talking with the pastor yesterday, Pastor Lonnie. We were talking about it, and I've kind of grown up. I'm not saying that grown up. My New Mexico time has really been spent with the Flying J Wranglers. My wife and I have probably gone almost every year since I've been married to my wife. Every year going out to the Flying J Ranch and enjoying the Flying J Wranglers. Matter of fact, for those watching the picture right now, they got the flyer up. If you see that man with the long white beard, that man taught my wife guitar classes, guitar lessons in Levelland at Plains Air. So she was a music teacher for my father. Matter of fact, that guy also taught Natalie Maines from the Dixie Chicks. She was under his tutelage in guitar play and all that stuff. He's an amazing guitarist, but they're all great. And they're going to be doing the show at Christ Church this Sunday, December 12th, a 3 o'clock show and a 5:30 show. If you have any questions, need more information, you can contact the church at 575-623-4110. They're amazing, award-winning artists, country. I'm telling you, go see them. You're going to be. I don't even care if you don't like country, western, or that kind of music. You're going to love the show. They're amazing artists, performers. They're funny. They're entertaining. They're great. So check them out. They're going to be at Christchurch this Sunday, 3 o'clock, 5:30 shows. Again, call for more information, 575-623-4110. All right, 7:30. Let's go ahead and we're going to take a quick commercial break. We'll also pause for local news. And then on the other side, Mayor Dennis Kentow will join us here, and we'll recap last night's city council meeting, the good, the bad, the ugly. Don't go away.
Having trouble keeping up with the conversation? Here on Earth Hearing Center can help. Here on Earth is locally owned and operated and have been serving Southeast New Mexico since 1955. Let their experience help you with a free hearing assessment. If you do need a hearing device, they will guide you through every step of the process. They accept all types of insurance, including Medicaid, and all of their devices are made right here in the USA. Call and schedule your appointment today, 575-622-0375, or come by 2800 North Main, Suite 2, across from Target in Roswell. Here on Earth Hearing Center, get back in the conversation.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and Fiero 106.1 for a live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Roswell Nissan. Gear up for the holidays with a fantastic selection of vehicles and thousands in rebates and savings. Plus, 0 down delivers and no payments till 2022. We'll have hot dogs and ice-cold Pepsi products, and Roswell Nissan has your chance to score big with the brand new Xbox Series X. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 with a test driver service, and 5 with any purchase. Drawing a 1 must be present to win. See you Saturday 10 to 1 at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
OMED Spa in Roswell is an oasis from the everyday, a relaxing place to escape, featuring the latest in skin and facial treatments, including hydrofacial, IV vitamin replacement therapy, massages, Botox, Dermafrac, and more, including the most advanced platelet-rich plasma treatment in the region. At OMED Spa, your health and wellness are a top priority and is adding new and exciting treatments every day. Find out more. Call OMED Spa to make an appointment today, 575-363-3687, or stop by the corner of Country Club in Washington and Roswell. OMED Spa, an oasis from the everyday.
For over 40 years, Sierra Blanca Motors here in Roswell have been providing locals with quality vehicles and are committed to providing you quality vehicles and service for many years to come. No sales gimmicks, no inflated pricing, just a quality pre-owned vehicle listed at retail pricing or less. Have a used vehicle to sell? Get top trade-in value or an amazing cash offer today. Let Danny or Jose provide you a great car buying experience. Call 575-622-7907 or stop by Sierra Blanca Motors at 720 South Main Street in Roswell. Se habla español.
That first Christmas was messy, but so was the world. Jesus was born into a messy world full of sin and darkness. When Isaiah prophesied about the Messiah, he proclaimed, "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned." When Jesus entered the world, darkness indeed had flooded the land. Today is no different. You don't have to look far in this world to see brokenness and darkness. We live in a messy world. However, God's messy but perfect plan changed everything. That day, God became flesh and was wrapped in old priestly garments and laid in a manger. That was messy, but God wanted it that way. Jesus came into our messy world to be sacrificed for our messiness. How messy is our world? How dark is the world around you? Today, I want to remind you of the light that came into the world for all the world in the form of a baby on that blessed Christmas morning. No matter your mess, He is your light and your Redeemer.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Now for a Pecos Valley news update, I'm Jared Cirillo. Thanks for joining us this hour. Our top story, Roswell police and firefighters responded to a 3-vehicle crash Thursday that caused some problems at North Main and 13th Street. One vehicle rolled onto its side. The southbound lanes of Main had to be shut down as the investigation into the crash proceeded. No word on how seriously the injuries in the crash were, but good news, the intersection is now back open. Eddy County leaders are now calling for an all-new renovation plan for the county's courthouse. The county commissioners had already approved a plan to remodel some space at the courthouse to get ready for the expected arrival of a 5th judge. Well, District 2 Commissioner John Henry said he's tired of, quote, Band-Aid fixes to the building. Instead, he wants an all-new combined facility. Sheriff Mark Cage seemed to agree, saying a modernized facility is only in the community's best interest. You're up to date. I'm Jared Cirillo reporting.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. 47.2% of all statistics are made up on the spot. Is this true? I'd say chances are about 50%. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 7:35, and joining us in studio this morning, he's in the middle of his sandwich, so we're not gonna ask him a lot of questions right this second.
Okay, well, we'll just a few things here.
Yeah,
we survived last night.
Actually, you guys got out of there at a decent hour.
8:05. Can you believe it?
You're in home in time for primetime TV still.
I will make note that absent from the meeting were Counselor Roebuck and Counselor Perry. Now, I'm not saying it's their fault. I'm not blaming either of them. They're fine gentlemen. They're a real asset to this community. But I do make note of that.
There is a math problem here and a math equation, and if you do the math, it's science.
It's science. Follow the science.
Oh, that's funny. But yes, last night the Roswell City Council met for the last scheduled time, hopefully.
Yeah. 2021
here. So, yesterday when you were in, when we were talking the meeting, it was pretty. It wasn't a very hefty agenda to really begin with. A lot of end of year wrap ups, a little bit of continuance on some of the marijuana ordinance stuff and things like that, or cannabis, whatever they want to call it.
Yeah, exactly.
And that, but for the most part, it wasn't. A lot of after the redistricting, after budget talk, this is pretty tame stuff compared to some of the stuff y'all been dealing with earlier in the season.
Oh my Lord, yeah, easily. But we actually began with a really fascinating presentation from Chief Phil Smith, the Roswell PD.
Okay,
and they do a lot of cool stuff now.
Yeah, well, they kind of always do cool stuff, but.
Yeah, but it's gotten even cooler since I left the profession.
They've added some coolness to it since you've been. Very good. So police chief started things off. What did he have to say?
I talked about they have 4 dogs now.
Okay, that's great. The canine units. Are they all drug sniffers or search and rescue? Or
they're drug dogs. None of them are marijuana dogs, though, which is pretty cool.
Because that's not something they need to look for anymore.
One of the other little things is, for one of a better term, kind of like laser tag, but it's not really. What it is, it's a situation simulator, and it's video, and it's much more sophisticated than stuff we had a long time ago. But the premise is you're watching the video. It simulates a situation. There's actors in this thing, and it's much more sophisticated that they can change things. The controller can change things. So
it's less predictable than the older models.
And what it is it can react. The guy managing it, or director, whatever you want to call him, can control it based upon what you do. So part of the issue is de-escalation. So being in control of a situation, giving clear commands, identifying yourself, those kinds of things that are critical when you get into these funky situations.
Sure, when something's tense, hot. You try to de-escalate.
Police, let me see your hands, those kinds of things that, we're going to see. But you don't push it too far, because if you do, then the simulator will shoot you.
Yeah. Well, you got to, I guess, because if they come in too hot, they come hot back at you.
Or if you're not hot enough,
yeah,
they take control and
so you got to find that happy bait and balance where authoritative yet not over aggressive.
And sometimes it's really a fascinating, and what it is a really, really a valuable training tool. It is something that can help equip young officers with these funky situations.
Mm-hmm.
And not everyone has the same skill set, so you got to work on this for some of them. And it just was I encourage the counselors to do it. I've done it. I've been down there.
Sure.
And, I got kind of kidded a little bit about I only killed like 3 hostages. That's not bad. You know, it's not, it could have been
10,
worse.
that's pretty good.
Yes,
That's 70%.
yeah, that's right. Could have been worse. But anyway, but in all honesty, it really is an excellent training thing. So
Yeah, definitely.
So we started off after that. Yes, the continuing saga on the marijuana regulation. This is what we call Chapter 27 of the Municipal Code, and we're filling it in bite-sized pieces, continuing to define things, and we expect one more major piece of this to be done, and then what we're hoping for is some downtime, but we're a little bit concerned about where the state's going. There's a commission that's supposed to be setting up regulations, and it appears that they may be behind schedule. So we don't know what truly we're going to get from the state. With Councilors Roebuck and Perry, thank you, out. Councilor Kennard was online. Mm-hmm. She still has the brand new one.
Yeah, she's at home taking care of the new one there.
And without giving away too much, she had she's not able to drive yet, or she is just a little bit. So anyway, I say all that because we had 8 councilors participating. This was an ordinance, requires 6 affirmative votes. Well, Councilors Moore and Councilor Sanchez voted no. And the reasoning, they didn't state this, but I've had enough conversation with them. They really don't care for this marijuana stuff at all.
Okay.
And although this is an attempt to try and control it, they're fundamentally opposed to the whole thing of legalized marijuana.
Gotcha.
So they are voting no.
Gotcha.
And I get it.
However, the barn door's open.
Yeah.
It's too late. The horses are gone. We got to do something about it.
But, we didn't. The ordinance passed with the 6 affirmative votes. Then we got into some real cleanup work. And this deals with franchises for solid waste collection.
Okay.
Once again, there's 4 commercial entities that are doing solid waste collection. Now, under state statute, the city has exclusive jurisdiction over solid waste collection, but we may allow commercial companies to do it. This is like if you have a large, say, a restaurant or a construction site or a business that generates a large amount of trash. Then you can have an arrangement with them where you pay them to do the dumping.
Okay.
This has been actually overlooked, and this stuff goes back to the mid-'90s. That wasn't done properly. Requires both an ordinance, which is a franchise ordinance, where we say, you may do this. That can be up to 25 years.
All right.
But there's also going to be, at a later date, an agreement with these folks that's more short-term.
Okay.
Say, these are the rules. So you have the franchise, but here we are defining how you will operate and what you will pay. It seemed pretty clear to me, but Councilor Orpesa had some questions and seemed concerned, and it didn't seem to sit with him, or didn't, and so he was the only no vote on these 4 franchise ordinances. One was with Waste Management in New Mexico, one was with Whitcamp Disposal, then Southwest Disposal, and Desert West Enterprises. These were the 4. Some of these, we could never find an original ordinance anywhere in our documentation.
Oh, wow.
All of them had expired agreements. So our legal team has been doing some, along with our waste management folks, have been doing some serious cleanup.
Gotcha.
And it's weird that we have
pun
these
intended
things.
there.
Yeah. It's weird that we have these situations. But my hat's off to the staff for identifying the problem and coming up with a solution, bringing it to the council.
Good deal.
We've got some real pros. And like I said, they're cleaning up neglected stuff from decades ago.
Gotcha. So, despite Councilor Orpesa's dissent on this, it's a good go. They're gone, and
now
it's in place now.
Yeah, now we will have agreements brought forward.
Okay.
And just so everybody knows, they pay us. In other words, these companies pay 7% of their gross to us.
Okay.
So that's great. That's an additional income to our...
Money's good. We like money.
We like money. All right. Then we moved into some items that were pulled off the consent by Councilor Orpesa. One was the purchase order for microsurfacing of city streets.
Okay.
That one passed 8-0. Then we had a funky one where was that
the one that was on the consent, and then they pulled it off later? Yeah, gotcha. Okay.
And then there was a Hondo Trail Rehabilitation contract or bid that we tweaked it a little bit. Basically, we made it a positive motion and we voted against it.
Okay.
So it was like it failed 0-8, which is what what staff was saying to us. So it was a little bit of a weird situation there. Then we're continuing this saga, for want of a better term, of the area over there. I called it Fruitopia. It's over there to the east of Garden, west of Atkinson, second up to the Spring River.
The bridges.
Peach and pear and apple and cherry are there. Orchard is there. Anyway, that area, we have a lot of work we're doing over there. One of the things we're working on is the large diameter valve replacements and line stops. So we got a contract with an outfit from Albuquerque. We did some, that was 8-0. Variable frequency drive. This is an interesting, really fascinating concept. So our pumps, we have wells, we have a number of wells, and these pumps, when you turn them on in the older pumps, you turn it on, it comes on, right? Well, that can send a shock wave because all of a sudden it goes from 0 to whatever.
Gotcha.
And it can send a shock wave through the water, and it can blow out seams, cause difficulties. So with a variable frequency drive, what happens is it slowly.
Okay.
And so it doesn't shock the system, if you will.
This is a gradual up and down.
This is for a well that we have at the Roswell Air Center, and a little snarky question by me, which was things I do sometimes. Ongoing concerns about the water wells that we got when we got Walker. Who do they belong to? Does it belong to the Air Center? Does it belong to the city? The city owns the Air Center. How does this work? Blah, blah, blah. This is $188,000. No, this is $369,000. This is paid for out of the water fund for a water well at the Air Center.
Okay.
So my point is that the Air Center has been paid over the years out of the water fund for these water wells.
Gotcha.
This is kind of an internal debate that I'm not winning, by the way.
You're kind of saying, hey, they're good. They're paying.
Yeah, but they're all kind of, it's kind of funny because senior staff and the council kind of like, yeah, okay, sit down. All right, Mayor, that's all right. You had your 5 minutes of fame. Go ahead. Then we're doing some, we're going to do a mill and fill on South Sunset. We're doing about $1.1 million. This is a big, there's actually two chunks. There's a chunk in the middle that was done years ago.
Okay.
But we're starting from McGaffey and we're going north, I think to Poe. Anyway, so we got through all that. We have a bunch of consent stuff that is leases at the Air Center, air sales, general aviation, some individual leases for T-hangers. Then we got to, and by this point where it's like an hour into it, I'm like,
hey, we're going pretty quick.
Yeah, like I'm thinking, whoa, this could work out.
Might see some of the football game tonight.
Yeah,
because Steelers were on last night.
Yeah, they were.
Yeah,
it was. Yeah, I know.
That's why you didn't hear much from him. That's the man. The meeting was quick. We were talking. He was under the table with his phone watching the game.
So one of the resolutions that we did is pass a resolution of support for the concept of making dispatch, the dispatch folks, first responders. And it deals with we got a little more explanation about what's going on here, is that there's some legislation at the federal level to designate these individuals as first responders.
Gotcha.
And so our resolution was in support of that. Now, if that gets changed, they will qualify at a later date for certain benefits that the federal government offers to first responders.
Okay.
But right now, they're administrative support personnel versus first responders. And they don't get out of that room. They don't leave that room.
Sure.
At least physically. but emotionally, they are out there on the street with the officers. They're with the victim who is dialing the 911. They are trying to console and comfort a 10-year-old child who has just experienced some kind of huge trauma,
dealing with all the emotion of the scenario.
Yeah, and they are a huge asset. And I said this at the meeting that when this came up, that I've been on the other end of the radio when there's no one else around, and that voice there is your link. And
I've heard that time and time again from officers and things, that the dispatch really is the eyes and ears for the first responders on scene. That whatever information that a first responder has going in, be it a car accident or a police criminal situation, whatever the dispatch is telling the officers or the EMTs or whoever on the scene, that's all they know.
That's right.
And so the ability for those dispatchers to garner as much information out of that call in a highly heightened emotional state.
Yep.
That's that you can't ask for any tougher or just an appreciative job, because that's saving lives. Because the better equipped with information the first responders are going in, the better prepared they are to handle that scenario and things like that. So, and I know, put this in the back of your head. Hopefully you never have to, but if you ever make a 911 call for something like that, I understand it's going to be a heightened emotional, but the more details you can give the dispatcher, the better first responders can help you.
Exactly.
So please, I know it's heightened and you got 20 things and it's not the time, but in that moment of clarity there, try to just get as much information in succinctly calm manner to them as possible. That way, when the police officers, the EMTs arrive on the scene, they know exactly what to do and get you taken care of.
That's critically correct.
Yeah.
Next item up was one of the funky ones. We spent a little bit of time on, about almost 20 minutes, and it deals with a review process for site drainage plans. Now, what the heck are we talking about? Well, when they're building a house, the contractor, the builder, is expected to show to the folks getting the build to the code enforcement building permits that the water will flow away from the house, not
that's the idea,
not under the house.
See how it works is
so show us how you know that it's going to flow away. Well, what our staff is trying to do is come up with a checklist of things. You don't have. This doesn't have to be engineered. This does not need. But we need to have standardized the drawings. So there was some confusion and concern with some of the folks in the construction industry. They were worried this was going to get way too complicated and cost a bunch of money. What we basically did is said, hey, okay, you guys in the construction industry, get together with our community development team right after the holidays and have a discussion. Maybe we tweak a little bit about this resolution. We'll talk about this again in January. So, long story short, we're going to have some more discussion.
Okay.
And if anyone's out there as a contractor who's heard a little bit about this but doesn't know what's really going on, I encourage you to reach out to community development, talk to Mr. Kevin Mavers, and be part of this meeting they're going to have and get questions resolved.
Excellent.
And the next two items were actually connected. This is really weird. This is another one of these state things. So we're getting a water loan grant deal.
Okay.
So first we have to pass a resolution saying we want to do it.
Okay.
Then we have to pass an agreement saying we are doing it. Now, why can't we just have one document? Don't ask me. The state in its infinite wisdom sets this stuff
Some lawyer
up.
got paid a lot of money to figure that out.
Oh, my golly. Anyway, so the long story short, we're going to get like $400,000 free out of this whole thing. And it's a $1 million project. And it deals with water lines, once again, over in Fruitopia, over there in I guess the formal name is the Edgewood area. But we're looking at replacing some water lines that are very old with modern, the plastic stuff that's 12
This
inch.
is back to that infrastructure thing we've been talking about. They put in all these pipes in the state around the same time, and so they're all kind of going at the same time here because the shelf life is past its prime.
It's probably close to 100 years old because this area over there is one of the older parts of Roswell.
So it's even earlier than some of the stuff you've already replaced.
Yeah, we're estimating in the 20s or 30s.
Okay.
But that's an estimate.
Think about it, though. This is probably all during that New Deal era. And
actually predates even that.
Some of that, too. Okay.
On this I'm going to jump around a little bit because there's there's another item that was a little bit further down that we looked at, two items. One dealing with North Garden. Yes, we are still working on North Garden. Well, we found we had a sewer line problem, and we're going to have to replace it. The good news is we're doing it before we repave North Garden.
Ah.
Yeah, we're lucky here.
Logic.
Weird. Well, we stumbled across the problem.
Good deal.
So this is a almost $700,000. It's $650,000 project to replace some of the sewer lines. In addition, over there on Atkinson, where we're rebuilding Atkinson from 2nd to the current phase is up to 4th Street. They discovered that 3 of the manholes are like completely trashed.
Okay.
Now once again is an interesting thing because this is a section where a lot of wastewater sewer stuff is coming together before it goes down along the Hondo to get to the wastewater treatment plant, which is to the east of town. So this is actually all the stuff from the base, all the stuff from the southeast side of Roswell flows into this general area.
Okay.
And these manholes were in very bad shape, to the point where they had almost completely rotted out. The gases eat away at the mortar and even the old bricks.
Gotcha.
So,
that methane's tough is rough stuff, man.
Yeah.
That's that stuff can do some van damage. So
what we're seeing here is, if we kind of put it back in perspective, a whole series of projects over there in that central area of Roswell to the east of downtown. Eventually, it's going to be done, and it's going to be a great improvement, but we're dealing with some really old stuff, and we've got a great team that's working their way through this.
It's a tedious process, they're eating through it, so patience, please. It'll be good when it's all done, I promise, but it's going to create a headache or two in the meantime.
And eventually, yes, Garden will be repaved. Yes, we know it's a bad street, but we've got to get the underground stuff done first. We still got to do that bridge over the Arroyo there at Roswell Livestock. That's got to be done, and in fact, that's the next bridge to be tackled.
And if you do it out of sequence, you're in essence wasting your money and going to create more work than needed.
Right. So we did some more there. We did some appointments to the Art Center Board of Trustees.
Okay.
And in our last two items, one was the contract to do the food service. Mm-hmm. That's over there at the terminal building.
Yes, the same folks that do the Eastern University Roswell food service.
Now that one, there is a potential for alcohol sales. It's included in their lease agreement. Once again, Councilors Moore and Sanchez were not comfortable and voted no, but we got this. This doesn't require 6. It just requires a majority because it's a lease. So that passed.
Okay.
And then we've basically set up, once again, on-call contractors. Now, we've done this for janitorial services. We've done this for a number of electrical, plumbing. This is for engineering and architectural services.
Okay.
We got 13 on call. So
That's a pretty good list, right?
Yeah. So we got.
Although, can we add one or take one away just to get that unlucky 13? Maybe make a 14th, or
you're making my life hard, dude. We got out here 8:05, and you want to squabble about
did a black cat walk across the edge?
We want to be done. So, sheesh. There's people like you that keep us there till midnight.
That's what we do.
It's like, well, could we? No, just shut up and vote.
Yeah. I know.
Oh my God. So this is really funny going. And we're done at 8:05. But let me go back real quick to these franchise agreements. So these were ordinances.
Real quick, we got like 30 seconds.
Okay, these are ordinances. So I go through this whole spiel. Anyone here wishing to speak in opposition? Anyone wishing to speak? Let the left record reflect, blah, blah. So I go through this thing over, and I can see the people in the audience staring at me like, are you whacked? Anyway, so we got done, and we're good.
Good.
And so Merry Christmas to all.
Merry Christmas. Thank you, Mayor. I don't know if this will be the last time of 2021 we talk to you, but if it is, then we look forward to a fun, prosperous, and much brighter 2022 here.
All right.
So, thank you, sir. Appreciate it, and we'll see you next time, okay?
Yes, sir.
All right, 8 o'clock, you're listening to 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM, KEND, or Roswell, New Mexico.
No, inflation taking a huge bite out of our budgets. Consumer prices soared 6.8% over the past year.
The Labor Department says surging costs for food, energy, housing, and other items left Americans enduring their highest annual inflation rate since 1982. The department also reported that from October to November, prices jumped 0.8%. Inflation has been intensifying pressure on consumers, especially lower-income households, and particularly for everyday necessities.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Despite a legal setback, the fight may not be over for former President Trump, although a federal appeals court has rejected his argument of executive privilege as he tries to shield documents from a congressional committee. Mr. Trump could appeal to the Supreme Court. He wants to keep the documents away from the Democrat-controlled panel investigating the U.S. Capitol riot. A day after lying in state in the U.S. Capitol, the late Senator, GOP presidential hopeful, and war hero Bob Dole will be honored today with 2 services in the nation's capital.
There will be a private service at Washington National Cathedral and a public one at the World War II Memorial. President Biden plans to speak at the cathedral ceremony along with Dole's family and close friends. His casket then travels to the World War II Memorial for a public celebration of life, featuring Joint Chiefs of Staff Chairman General Mark Milley and actor Tom Hanks. Dole's wife, former Senator Elizabeth Dole, will lay a wreath in his honor. Dole served nearly 36 years in Congress. He died Sunday at the age of 98. Mike Hempen, Washington.
Watching Wall Street, the Dow is up 145 points. The NASDAQ trading 60 points higher. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Do your pets have the same energy they used to? Do they have problems with itching, scratching, a dull coat, or goopy ears? Then your pets need Dinovite.
DINOVITE.com.
For over 20 years, pet owners have trusted Dinovite to supplement their pet's diet.
We started Dinovite, and in our first box, we noticed a difference.
Dinovite is an all-natural daily supplement made from whole foods that help support your pet's immune system, digestion, skin, and coat.
Within 3 weeks, he's not scratching and itching, and he's an all-around happier dog.
Today's commercial pet foods are processed at high temperatures, which bakes out all the essential goodness. These processed foods can lack the essential vitamins, enzymes, and probiotics that contribute to overall good health. Adding a scoop of Dinovite to your pet's food bowl is the answer.
If you love your pets as much as I do, you'll want to do what's best for them to live long, healthy, happy lives.
I have 2 cats and 2 dogs. All 4 of them are on the Dinovite.
You won't believe how happy your dog will be.
DINOVITE.com.
Monsanto will plead guilty to illegal pesticide use in Hawaii.
The agrochemical company Monsanto has agreed to plead guilty to illegally using and storing pesticides in Hawaii. Monsanto will pay $12 million in fines. In a court filing, Monsanto agreed to plead guilty to 30 environmental crimes. Workers were allowed to go into cornfields on Oahu last year after the glufosinate ammonium-based product Forfeit 280 was sprayed on fields. Under federal law, people cannot enter areas where the chemical is sprayed within 6 days of application. Monsanto will also plead guilty to 2 felony crimes related to the storage of a banned chemical on Maui. I'm Mike Gracia.
Chinese leaders promising tax cuts and support for entrepreneurs to shore up slumping economic growth after a campaign to rein in surging corporate debt caused bankruptcies and defaults. News and analysis at townhall.com. Work has begun on giving some of the country's most spectacular natural settings and historic landmarks a makeover.
The Great American Outdoor Act was passed by Congress last year and dedicated up to $1.6 billion a year for the next 5 years to extensive maintenance and repairs that have been put off year after year. The Department of the Interior says the funding will go toward critical projects in national parks, forests, wildlife refuges, and other areas. Some of the first projects completed in October included cleaning the marble walls of the Jefferson Memorial and restoring historical masonry grills at New River Gorge, but dozens of other renovations are coming. Rhonda Rockster reporting.
Mexican authorities say the northbound truck was jammed with up to 200 migrants when it crashed in southern Mexico, leaving 53 people dead, at least 54 others injured. The overloaded vehicle tipped over, slamming into the base of a steel pedestrian bridge. More on these stories, townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man on this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Ringing through it, flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil said, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And this is why I say leave the windows open.
This is why we can't have nice things. Look. Go ahead.
80 degrees in here. 80. I just looked.
The deuce. So look. These last couple of days, it has been, and maybe it's, I don't know, blood pressure, I don't know. It's been stupid cold. I've been stupid cold.
It's been.
I have been redonkulously cold all week long. I can't control, I don't know why. It's
well, you should not be cold today.
No.
It's 80 in here.
And it started last night. Like I covered it, I've been using the thicker blanket that I have because my kids have had my comforter, so I've been using my thicker like throw blanket, the one that's like wool. Last night about midnight, I just woke up just drenched in sweat. I think sweat. I assume sweat.
Did you have a fever?
No, I don't know. I don't think so. But yeah, I was covered in sweat. Ever since then, I've just been like normal.
It sounds like Forrest Gump when he's like running and he just goes run. I just felt like running, and then he stops. I'm tired now.
I think I'm gonna stop keeping warm.
You just had weeks of being cold. But like dude, I'm not cold now.
For 2 days, I felt like I was 85 years old. I'm like, I can't get warm. I wasn't shivering. It wasn't like a fever thing, but I couldn't get warm. And now
it should be just cozy now.
I walked into the studio this morning. I'm like, who turned the heat on?
It's gotten hotter since the day started too, because I had the window cracked. Like, it's kind of warm in here. Well, but I'm sitting here after interviewing the mayor. I'm like, I got sweaty ears from all the headphones. These headphones are so sweaty.
Yeah. Well, there's no aeration there.
And I'm like, man, I am just baking over here.
Bacon. I will say this. I walked outside sans jacket, and it's not nearly as cold this morning, or at least it didn't feel as cold. Maybe there was wind.
That's it. The overnight low was 46.
Right, that's warm by all things considered. So
tonight's overnight low, like 25.
See, and that's what it is. It's just warmer today. I'm not sick. I'm not broken. It's just warmer today.
I know it's warmer in here. There was no heat on this office, right?
Not now.
You just turned it off?
No, I turned it off like 6:30 this morning.
Ugh.
Yeah.
Ugh.
I know.
Ugh.
I was like, it was one of those like, it's a little thick in here, isn't it?
Thank God I got this McDonald's iced tea to wash down and cool me off.
Hydration and cooling.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you to McDonald's.
Big thank you to McDonald's. That's the only thing that I have respite in this building right now. Sitting inside an oven. I feel like Mr. Butterball right now. Just waiting for my thing to pop off my head.
I had to bite my tongue on that. I was going to say, you're a bit of a baby this morning, aren't you? Honestly, though, I will say this. For the last couple of days, I've been a bit of a baby. I just wanted it a little warmer in the studio.
It's Friday. I'm going to complain.
Like, I'm used to working, and I've worked in radio for most of my adult life, so I'm used to working in an environment where the air conditioner is cranked to 11 to keep the equipment cool.
Yeah.
But all of a sudden, over the last year or so, and I wouldn't even say it's a weight loss because I've been like this for a few years now. But just over the last year, I've just been weirdly cold. Like I can't get circulation in my nose or my fingertips. I don't know.
You talk to a healthcare professional about this?
Not yet. I don't want to know. I adhere to the Jim Henson school of medicine, which is the wait and see philosophy.
Well, go to the doctor so I don't have to burst into flames here on a Friday trying to do a show.
It would be interesting to see, though.
Oh, man.
Spontaneous Michael combustion.
I over-exaggerate a bit, but it is 80. I'm not lying. I looked at the thermostat before I sat down.
Now,
it's
honestly,
80 in here.
Honestly, room temperature is 72 degrees.
Not my house.
I know, not your house, but the average room temperature is 72 degrees. So really, we're only 8 degrees off.
And that's all it takes.
Is that it?
Well, 6 degrees of Kevin Bacon is a whole thing. 8's 2 more than that.
Right. 2 more degrees of bacon. Is it weird that I use my my nipples as a temperature gauge? Well, they're not hard right now, so I think I'm doing okay.
Good. Well, you ain't gonna worry about being Chile in here because it's the opposite.
That's right.
I'm pretty sure we could put eggs and just crack eggs on the table. Next thing you know,
it's not that hot. All right, fine. You show me an egg that you cooked at 80 degrees, and I'm going to show you salmonella, sir.
I'll show you a Mike Winters that cooked at 80 degrees.
You're a little underdone on the backside.
I am. And tough.
Gamey.
Gamey. Bit gamey. Very gamey.
Uh-huh.
Thank you to McDonald's.
Yes.
Again, the only good thing I got going on this morning is that McDonald's hash brown I just had. It was so tasty and happy.
Was it warm?
It actually cooled off because I had to spend an hour. So it was
cooler than the room.
Yeah, it was like 87. It was above room temperature because we're in above room temperature.
I ate a McDonald's hash brown to cool off. Rubbed it on my face.
Right? Cool down with a nice hot hash brown here in the office.
I've been running a marathon. I had somebody pour hash browns on my face to cool me off.
Then I doused myself with blazing hot coffee, and now I feel cooler.
It's nice. Well, it's hot for a minute, but it cools right down.
Yeah.
You know, that's actually there's truth to that. That hot liquids freeze faster than cold liquids.
Yeah.
Yeah, because I'm not sure of the science behind it, but that whole. You remember the whole challenge that last year when all the big snowfall happened, people would take things of boiling water and throw them up in the air and turn into snow. I think it's because boiling water is closer to steam, so it's closer to that gaseous state,
like a flash freeze.
I think so. It freezes faster.
Jazz hands, but yeah,
spirit fingers. By the way, I got to say a humongous thank you to everybody who came out to the New Mexico Workforce Connection Artesia Community Career Fair yesterday. We had
get some jobs landed.
Had a good solid 4 people show up. It was
no one looking for work, were they? There's lots of jobs, but no one to want to work.
So many jobs.
Nobody wants to work, man.
There are over 1,000 jobs right now on the Eddy County website.
Wow.
Jobs.state.nm.us. People look it up.
No one wants to work.
Nope. No, because you know why? It's pecan season. There's plenty of work out there for the picking.
Okay.
If you don't mind being paid $2 a pound.
Just figure I think I'd rather do easier work for more money.
One would think. Insurance, benefits.
It's the reason I'm a radio DJ. You don't dig a lot of ditches in radio.
Nope.
Just saying.
No.
A lot of seat time.
You do. You do dig ditches in radio. You just learn how to talk your way out of them. That's what it is.
Figurative ditches.
Boy, I've dug more than my fair share of ditches. But I got to tell you this.
Those are more holes than ditches.
Those are deep. Those are crevasses.
Yeah.
But I've gotten real good over the years at talking my way back out of them, for what it's worth.
Good.
That's one thing that talking for a living has given me.
Well, that's why he's still a dick.
That's it.
Not picking pecans.
Half of those are with my boss.
Yeah, I hear you.
Mm-hmm.
What was I going to say? I got to finish up McDonald's. I keep starting and we get sidetracked here.
It happens.
Swing by any of your 2 McDonald's here in town. Again, if you're looking for work and you're more than one of those 4 people that went out to the job fair yesterday, mchire.com. McDonald's is hiring. I'm telling you, this is for real. The Snowberger family hires from within.
Yeah.
His management team, most of those people, if not all of them, are started out ground level in the McDonald's organization.
I started out ground level with Amanda Horton. Look at that. I'm just saying. And
now he's a DJ. nothing to do with it. But I get what you're saying.
And Amanda is wearing a suit every day and driving a fancy sports or a fancy car.
Yeah.
And in the corporate office.
Yes.
What I'm getting at.
Shout out to DJ.
And I'm complaining about how cold it is in my studio.
It's so hot.
Dude, literally, I was sweating this morning. For a
it
second,
is. It's hot in here.
I feel you.
It's uncomfortable.
And you know what? As I turn it off, I'm like, I'm going to catch so much crap for this.
And now the sheriff's going to be in a bad mood because he's wearing 700 pounds of gear and he's going to be sitting here sweltering.
He's used to it.
I know.
This is training for him.
Still.
Yeah. Plus, how often does he get to go to training where there's also McDonald's?
Well, that's true.
Actually, probably pretty often.
McDonald's sues the savage beast. It does.
I think that's kind of how Snowburger makes his money. He follows people like me and Mike around. It's like, hey, you want a burger?
You could use a Big Mac, couldn't you?
You look like you could use a French fry.
You're having a rough
right
day,
now.
aren't you?
How about a shake, bud?
Oh, and I'm going to say this right now during the McDonald's thing.
Yeah.
You know how Wendy's is running around saying they got the good fries and people are saying they're better than McDonald's?
Yep.
I had one earlier this week. I had some Wendy's fries. No, I had more than one. I had a serving of fries this week. They are tasty.
Mm-hmm.
They are not better than McDonald's.
See, it's
They
hard.
are not better than McDonald's.
Here's the thing.
They are tasty. They're good. They are not better than McDonald's.
When
McDonald's has created a perfect
Oh,
thing.
they have.
And
It's research and development.
You can't beat it.
Right.
It's perfection.
When you
And,
have
they've upped their game. I'll give it to them, but it ain't McDonald's fries.
When you have a fresh out of the fryer French fry with the perfect level of salt, there is nothing that comes close to that. It scratches a certain itch that no other fast food. It's almost in the same vein as a burrito from a certain place that's only available in this region of the country.
Yeah.
It's a certain itch that can only be scratched by that one thing. McDonald's fries are exactly that.
Yeah. Now, and now I'm going to give Wendy some advice.
Oh.
And I only did this before because
it's time for advice with Mike Winters.
You've already got a great product on your menu. You don't need to keep rehashing your fries 50 times. You've been doing it for years now, and everyone's supposed to be better, and you're like, we got it right this time, until you don't.
That's the thing. This is them admitting the last time they didn't get it right.
Well, here's what I'm telling you. You've already got a product that's perfect. Serve your breakfast hash brown wedges as your all-day fries.
They have hash brown wedges?
The potato wedges.
They sell potato wedges at Wendy's?
If they're breakfast.
Why are we doing...
Their breakfast.
Big thanks to McDonald's. 2 locations in Roswell, 1 in Artesia, 1 in Carlsbad. Stop by today for breakfast.
The French fry, they're wedges they give you when you don't give, you pay for them. But that's what you get. They're delicious. You should just serve those all day long. Forget all your fry game. And that's my advice from M-Dub here to Mr. Dave Thomas is whoever took over after he passed away.
Gotcha. Ralph Thomas, the nephew of Dave.
But McDonald's French fries are still king.
Oh, by far.
And they're the best. So big thank you to them for coming out.
I will
and supporting
argue,
us each and every weekend.
If you really want to take it up the most notches, McDonald's French fry and a Frosty.
See, I'm not down with that.
Because you got the McDonald's.
I'm not down with the people dipping fries and ice cream thing. To me, that's savage.
Dude.
You're ruining a perfectly good Frosty by doing that.
You're not.
You're getting your saltness in the Frosty. It's gross.
I feel like I don't even know you anymore.
That is just
salted caramel, my friend. Have you never had salted caramel?
Again, you're messing with perfection. You know how McDonald's got the fries down? They nailed it. That Frosty is something you should not mess with. The fact that you have other flavor Frosties now upsets me. There should be one Frosty. That's it.
I would agree.
The rest
I'm not a fan
amateur.
of vanilla Frosty.
Yes.
Not a fan of vanilla Frosty.
One Frosty. That's it.
One Frosty to rule them all. But all I'm saying is the Frosties is the best. But if you're not dipping fries into your ice cream, the terrorists win.
Well,
if that's how you
the
choose
angle
to live
they're
your life.
going, then let them have it.
That's the angle I'm going. That's America, dang it.
That is a insult to ice cream. Sheriff's here, or at least Charles is.
Yes.
I haven't seen the sheriff. Tell Charles. So let's do this.
Department is here.
Let's pause for some weather.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cool and very windy today. Gusts of 45 to 50 miles per hour through the day. Some blowing dust will be possible. We should have sunshine and our high in the upper 60s. For tonight, partly cloudy down to the mid-20s and breezy. And then sunny and cool weather coming up for Saturday with our high in the mid-50s, mid-60s, and fair on Sunday and a little gusty. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Thank you, Steve. Currently, let me get my weather. Did I update it? I didn't. Jeez, I'm so slacker. This is why they don't make me a police officer. I'm not trusted to do those kind of things. Currently 56 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 57%. Winds currently out of the south at 15 miles per hour. We got a wind advisory in effect right now through 7. Beginning at 10 a.m. this morning, they're going to kick in a red flag warning for us. That will remain in effect through 6 p.m. Guess why? Because it's going to be windy today. That's why we got all that going on. Good news for the weather today. Sunny, highs near 66. The rest of it, not so much. Areas of blowing dust this morning. Well, really this afternoon after 11 today. Winds will be up out of the south 15 to 20 early. Later picking up 25 to 30. Gusting as high as 40 miles per hour later today. Partly cloudy tonight. It is not going to be warm overnight. 23 the overnight low tonight with north winds at 10 to 20 miles per hour. Cooler temperatures for your Saturday. Sunny 55 for a high tomorrow. West winds 5 to 10. And then Sunday we'll be back in the low 60s, but another chilly night Saturday night, 23 for an overnight low. Good news is next week when you go back Monday, we're going to be near 70 on Monday and then in the mid-70s by middle of next week there. All right, it is 8:20. We got a 3-minute break. Got to pay some bills so I can buy more McDonald's things and stuff like that. And we'll do that. And then we'll talk with Sheriff and Charles Eastlis here on the other side. Don't go away.
Get Grinchy this Christmas at Roswell Honda. The Grinch stole Christmas and brought it all to Roswell Honda. And that means great deals for you across the lot, like a Honda Odyssey for just $99 a month. Get a free pecan pie and even a trip to Vegas just for stopping by, and a free HD TV with purchase. And register to win one of 3 Michael Kors purses, a Keurig, an air fryer, and even a 65-inch 4K smart TV. Leave the hoo-hash at home and head for Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd. And Merry Christmas.
Oasis Computers has been Roswell's trusted source for home and small business computers for over 30 years, and they continue to be your best resource for computer repairs, operating system upgrades, web root managed, antivirus, special orders, and more. Oasis Computers is now open from 8 to 1, Monday through Friday to better serve you. Service calls by appointments and after-hour appointments are available too. Stop by Oasis Computers at 1703 North Garden or call or text 575-625-9141 for even faster service.
Looking for holiday fun for your family? Come ride the Roswell Christmas Railway, opening November 26th at the Spring River Zoo for its 6th season of spreading holiday joy. See Santa, explore the Light Maze, play in Elf Town, and more. New for 2021, the Plateau Ice Skating Rink, Blocktown Christmas Lego Display, and Christmas Karaoke. Get dates, tickets, and more info at RoswellChristmasRailway.com. The Roswell Christmas Railway, November 26th through Christmas at the Spring River Zoo. Sponsored by Southwest Printers, Farmers Country Market, the Farmhouse on 2nd, Foxworth Galbraith Lumber, Emery's Pumping Service, and All American Cleaners.
Maze Lumber has all the hard-to-find hardwood you've been looking for. Oak, cherry, walnut, poplar, and maple. Plus, hard-to-find exotic woods like purple heart, zebra wood, ambrosia maple, black limba, and bloodwood. Perfect for that one-of-a-kind gift piece or table. Get ready with Formica and Wilson Art countertops in 12-footer custom length with installation available. Make it happen at Maze Lumber, 115 South Virginia in Roswell, serving southeastern New Mexico and beyond since 1934.
Move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. The Cow is stocked with fabrics and everything you need, and the Calico Cow is your destination for brand new Brothers sewing machines. Find out more and shop online at RoswellQuilting.com or move on over to the Calico Cow Fabric and Gift Shop in downtown Roswell. Want to know how? Come see the cow.
Attention dart enthusiasts, shooters, or just plain old chuckers. B&B Newsstand in downtown Artesia is the only place for quality dart supplies and dart boards. Plus, find wacky adult gifts like novelty socks and cup towels, Candleberry candles, Zippo lighters, and so much more. Come in and browse all the cool stuff at B&B Newsstand. You won't be disappointed. Root beer floats, Coke floats, and the best fountain drinks in town can only be found at B&B Newsstand on the corner of Main and Roselawn in downtown Artesia. Open Monday through Friday from 11 to 7.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. Did you know you share your birthday with at least 9 million other people in the world? Your birthday isn't feeling so special now, is it? Here's Mike Winters.
Hey, good morning. It is 24 minutes after 8 o'clock, and joining us in studio this morning from the Chaves County Sheriff's Department, of course, Sheriff Mike Harrington and Under Sheriff Charles Eastlis back with us. Morning, gentlemen.
Good morning. How are you?
Doing great. How was the Thanksgivings? I haven't talked to you.
It was good.
Since before Thanksgiving.
Holidays were good.
Good deal.
You know, we're on this keto diet, so you have
a lot of turkey and no potatoes.
Right,
none of the good stuff.
So I've been doing this thing.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you, we had a good Thanksgiving lunch at our office as well, and we and then at home was fantastic. Had all the family and everybody come over, but the community was great. Didn't have any real big problems other than the homicide.
Sure,
we did have that. But
well, and the holidays always bring that anyway. It's when anytime there's families getting together. Domestic violence, drinking, alcohol, drugs, all that goes up.
Families that don't normally get together.
Sure.
And they do.
And speaking of that, because we did have the homicide and things like that, it's important for me to tell you how dedicated and how hard workers my detectives and my patrolmen are. They're out there working, and when something like that happens, they're called away from their families, and they're out there working hard, and they did a fantastic job on this case, and it's just a sad thing to see. But we live in crazy times right now.
Sure,
especially whenever a son kills a mom. That's you just think on Thanksgiving Day. That's pretty crazy.
And unfortunately, as the sheriff's department, any law enforcement, they want to help and resolve situations, but in scenarios like that, the best case scenario is we have closure.
Yes.
It's a bad deal either way.
Yeah.
People's lives were lost. No one's going to be happy about that. But at the very least, we have an answer on what happened, how it happened, and that allows the process of healing and moving on to begin too. Which
it takes time
that's the
for
consolation. As a sheriff's department, you're like, hey, we're sorry, we feel for you, but at the end of the day, we have a job to do.
Yeah.
And this is what we can do, is do our job properly to help you.
It's six ways one, half a dozen the other. You either have, unfortunately for this family, they have the closure, but it was a family member that did that to a family member.
Sure.
Or is it the non-closure of never knowing who did that, and it be a random incident? And so exactly.
Yeah. At least, because at least if it's a non-family member, that they rally together to hate. But now it's civil war. It's family member versus family
split.
And since then we've had several other incidents happen. We had the incident that happened out on Country Club and Brown Road that appears to be a random type of shooting
scenario,
possibly a carjacking or something. And we're investigating that, and we're going to catch that person who shot that individual. And luckily for us, the victim didn't pass, survived the injuries, and we are working that case at full speed ahead, and we're going to catch whoever it was. And like I said, there's technology out there right now that is unbelievable, and it's going to put that person right on the scene.
If it's the one I'm thinking about, that's the one on was it like Sycamore or something?
Brown Road and Country Club.
Country Club, that's where it was.
Brown and Country Club.
Yeah, I remember hearing, because I actually know some of the people, the victims on that side.
Right, yes.
And so that one, when I heard that story, I was like, man, this sounds like something out of Detroit or something.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It doesn't sound like something here in Chaves County.
Exactly.
And I'm glad that and to be honest, not that I'm trying to make a proponent or anything, I know for a fact the victim here was armed and everything else, and that probably saved that person's life at the end of the day, from what I'm hearing and things like that. I don't know all the details and all that.
Being very much aware saved his life.
But
Exactly.
Again, going back to that, being a good steward of as a firearm owner, things like that, doing that trail is the path to lowering crime and doing those kind by relying on the police to do their job and protect us, but at the same time, don't make yourself a victim either,
or allow yourself to be a victim.
Make it less desirable for you to be someone that can be a victim, and because we've said this 100 times, criminals do crime of convenience, even your violent ones. And generally, a lot of times is what happens. It's a robbery gone bad. Is somebody walked in or somebody, things happen, and that's usually. So
they want the easiest path.
Exactly.
That's all.
So if you're making it as hard as possible to make it easy, then you're doing the best you can to protect you and your family.
And then we had the incident out by Walmart that sent everybody into a panic, thinking there was an active shooter inside the Walmart. And the best thing that I saw happen that night was all agencies came together, worked together quickly to, I got there and I put it on Facebook immediately and let people know, hey, it's not happening in Walmart.
Right.
This is a serious incident that's going on outside of it.
And I think what caused the confusion is at one point there was a thought that one of the suspects had fled into Walmart.
Yes.
That was later debunked, basically.
Right.
No,
was that confirmed?
Yeah,
that was confirmed.
They did.
Okay.
Yeah, and so no one was armed. Everyone was unarmed. They were just leaving the scene of where someone was just shooting at them as well.
Gotcha.
So they were getting out of there. But it's good that they went in, and I'll tell you, Walmart, Sam's, the mall, everybody did exactly what they're supposed to do. Went into a lockdown, but when the word got out there, it had to be quelled as quick as we possibly could because people were driving down Main Street trying to get to where their family members are.
Heavily populated. It was during rush hour times.
And they were
a lot of people worked
putting
there.
people at risk. So we had to get it out there as quick as we could to say, hey, everybody in Walmart's fine, everybody in Sam's is fine. The individual who was doing the majority actually was targeting the other individual, was shot, and but that was down by Berendo Elementary School, not at the Walmart.
Yeah.
So,
and that's where I was saying, which could have been a little bit of a blessing in disguise, if this happened, say, 3-4 hours earlier when that school's in session. That would have made this a whole lot different animal. In a weird sort of way, we were fortuitous that this happened later, 4 or 5 o'clock, as opposed to 2, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. Yeah, exactly.
And that's one of the things that we look at. And the schools have a good system in place. Like I said, Walmart, everybody else, they did a good thing. But we just had to make sure that we calmed people down because everything was over. It had to get back to driving the speed limit, coming down Main Street. Don't be running red lights. Don't be trying to come out there to where your family is. And we've seen this other times in our history or my time here when we had the Berendo Middle School shooting. There were more people causing accidents coming down Main Street.
Sure.
And everything was already over.
Trying to get to their family members.
Yeah, trying to worry about
or
their
get something
scenario.
on Facebook.
And I understand, especially the Berendo. Your kids there. It's game, but you're doing more harm than good by doing that because the people that are qualified, trained, and the ones that are going to make the situation right, you're hurting their opportunities to get the job.
One of the things that we've learned from active shooters all over this country is that whenever you have looky-loos that are going up or people showing up at the scene, the ambulances can't get to the scene.
Yeah.
The fire trucks can't get to the scene. So you have to remember you getting there to see what is going on is impeding life-saving measures for everybody else.
You're costing people's lives by doing that. So I get it. Curiosity kills the cat, worried about something because you've created a scenario, whatever it is, or if it's real. But please do, hopefully you never have to worry about this stuff. But if you do, think about that. Same thing with driving on Main Street here and stuff. If you see emergency vehicles going, they're always going to be in that passing lane.
Yeah, and it's called the pullover law.
So if you are on, say, Main Street, because that's where it's most commonly happening, you're driving in that left lane and you're seeing emergency vehicles coming hard up on you, get out of the left lane.
And unless something's happening on somewhere on Main or right off of Main, we try to avoid Main if we're having to run code.
Sure.
And that's for the safety of the public as well as the safety of the deputy.
Yeah.
You know, it's a lot
People
easier to
coming
go
out.
around than it is to go through.
But sometimes you don't get that luxury. You have to do it.
And Main Street is a direct access for us from the sheriff's office to north. You know, if it's something that's on the east or west side of it, we can hit the relief route, or we can hit.
Or you got to leave the county, go up to Bacher. There, you're heading out that way.
Yeah,
exactly.
And so yes, we do use Main Street a lot, and one of the things, and just like I have to tell my deputies, you have to remember that whenever someone is getting ready to pull out of McDonald's, they're not looking at who's coming down the road. They got their hand in the bag, trying to sneak a fry to get down, and they're
making sure they got all their food. Yeah,
they're going to pull out and not even hear you or see you because they got the radio on. They're focused on making sure their drink's not spilling, whatever it may be, and you're going to crash.
Yeah,
and you're no good if you crash.
I think I was telling you this a couple months ago. We were. Just the same thing. I was pulling out of a drive-through to go to turn on to Main there, and I wasn't a police officer. It was an early Sunday morning or something. So I went, but I was going to turn, and I was doing the same thing, kind of looking, making sure. And then I went to turn right, and sure enough, there's a kid on a bicycle. In the middle of the road driving the wrong way, and I started and I slammed on the brakes. And I'm like, holy crap, he's right here.
There are more pedestrians.
What are you doing, dummy? Get out of the road.
If you notice, we have a lot more pedestrians and a lot more bicycles out now. And they don't always wear bright clothing, especially at night. And you'll go to make a turn, and all of a sudden they're there, and they're looking at you, and you're looking at them. And,
and they look at you like you're the. It's like, wait a minute, you're on the road going the wrong way, but still, you're the one at fault because you're the driver. You're the one who's supposed to be in control of things.
You got to watch it. Texting and driving. Because they look and they don't see any cars, so they're texting, and you got a jogger on the side of the road or a person on a bicycle or whatever it may be. You're going to run them over. And that's dangerous. But I also want to talk to you about one of the things that we did this last weekend that I thought was by Main Street Roswell that I thought was a success. Was on the courthouse lawn. They did the Christmas tree lighting thing.
Last Friday.
Friday.
Friday night.
But then they also, and I'm telling you, I want to look into seeing what we have to do to get donations or something like that to get that movie screen back out there. Amazing. To watch those people sitting there. You got over 100 people sitting there.
They were showing the Grinch, I think.
It was the Grinch, but they brought their own snacks. They had their own stuff, and they
their
sat
blankets,
there,
their chairs,
and it was amazing to me to see people just sitting there like they were in a drive-in movie theater.
It was neat.
I did drive by there because I was working late here Friday, and then we had dinner, and then I went by there, and you're right. They were just quietly watching. And
he and I were walking around, and we were talking. It looks like a drive-in.
That
was great.
But it was impressive to me to see all these people come together. Kids still being able to do what they wanted to do, but they were sitting there and they were fixed on that screen. And this is a movie that's been out. Everyone's seen it 1,000 times.
Sure.
But what I liked was it brought the community together. It brought this to an outside event, which was I just really thought that was a great thing. And
really neat.
The sheriff's office was there. We made sure that everything was good. But you didn't have to do anything because it was a very peaceful and enjoyable event for these people.
You're just giving directions, or people like, hey, where's this? It's over here.
I just told them, hey,
the Coco's over there.
Exactly. That's all you guys had to do that night.
And then the next day when we did the Christmas light parade thing, I will tell you that there were more people show up to that than I thought was going to show up.
That was because there was
amazing.
When I went by like 6, 7, and I think they were cars from the convention center back past college. I mean, they were
all the way to past Nimmy.
Past Nimmy. Yeah, they were.
And they went in and they would snake several rows.
Yeah, they
in the
probably had
parking lot.
1,000 cars go through there at least.
There was more than that.
More than that.
I was right.
We
at
know
the
he
opening,
was the entrance. I was the exit.
Well, I want to tell you,
we were back to back.
We were standing there,
come in
and
this
there
way,
were so many cars.
Yeah.
But here's what was impressive to me as well: the people. It wasn't about the going around looking at the lights inside the light parade itself. It was 3.5 hours in the car with your family and
in line.
I'm going to tell you, the majority, if not 99% of the people pulling up there were happy.
Really?
And they were
saying, ready to kill each other yet?
We had people saying they were singing, they were talking, they were doing whatever else.
Love it.
And to me, that was impressive because, like you said, 3.5 hours. You could have drove to Albuquerque.
Yeah.
And
stop touching me.
Yeah,
Stop touching me.
I got to use the bathroom.
Are we there yet?
I got to do this. and what we learned from that is that because we didn't expect, you never know. Anytime you hold an event, and we know this from whenever I was campaigning, you never know how many people are going to show.
You may get 10, you may
God
get
somebody
1,000.
shows.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, you're just praying somebody shows.
Doesn't
right?
embarrass you like two guys
you
in
got all
there.
these hot dogs or something. You're saying,
Trust me, I'm in radio. I know all about that.
Yeah. and I'll tell you, it was car after car.
They didn't
after
end.
car.
That's great.
And even coming up on from 5:30 to 10 o'clock at night, whenever they finally had to shut it down and say, hey, people are. Santa Claus is tired, right?
Yeah. Gotta get his
but
nap.
You seen the line was still
at 10 o'clock.
coming.
We still had 97 cars. In line.
So it was to me though, watching this and seeing it. This is something that this city needs.
Yeah.
I'm thankful that the Main Street Roswell put something like that.
Yeah, they did a great job.
That was really
working this
neat.
event, and I imagine lessons learned is, hey,
you learn.
We need to plan for more vehicles, and we got to figure out an overspill here.
Something like that is amazing. Not just for Christmas. That would work for Halloween.
Sure,
it would work for little trunk or treat type deals.
Yeah.
Like a drive-through thing.
Yeah.
It is amazing.
But the one thing that people were telling me is, hey, people were cutting in to line, or people were allowing other people to get there. Well, we're used to that already because we have the fair here.
Right.
You can be in the line at the Ferris wheel or whatever ride, and one family walks up and allows 20 other people in front. It takes you 2.5 hours to ride one ride.
And you get the dirty looks
night.
there, just like you do here.
Yeah, you got the and so we've got to perfect it somehow.
Yeah.
But I can tell you,
Little
Main
things
Street
to iron
Roswell.
That's a winner.
Main
It's a winner
Street
of an
Roswell
idea.
did
It's a winner of an event.
fantastic job doing this, and all the volunteers that were there. Everybody who participated,
they worked themselves.
It was good.
Well, I saw a bunch of pictures and the lights. The public did an amazing job of their Christmas
With their
displays and
stuff like
everything.
that.
And definitely, and whether they stick with this for next year or go back to the actual parade, whatever we do here, it sounds like
either
it's
one
on
are
the table.
successful.
Yeah, it's gonna be a good thing here.
This was better than nothing. And it was great.
What I got to see during this, I'm talking about for the Christmas parade, not the regular parade. There was maybe 12 floats or vehicles
Lit
or
up
whatever,
vehicles or
lit
whatever.
up vehicles that would have been in that parade.
Gotcha.
It's like the Veterans Parade, and it saddens me to see that not many people go out for that. But it's so short, people just don't go.
Yeah.
But
the people that do go are very passionate.
No, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah,
so
they're great
100%.
people.
But what happened during this event was curiosity.
Yeah,
killed the cat.
And then I imagine too,
and they showed
once
up.
you get in line.
Yeah,
this is the thing about the 3 hour getting along. You don't have a choice.
Yeah.
Because I laughed with a lot of families coming out because we stood back to back and the entrance and the exit were in the same area.
Yeah.
They'd come in and greet the sheriff and he'd direct them in, and then they'd come out and I'd talk to them on the way out and tell them which way to go out, or they could go over with Santa and get pictures or whatnot. And we'd kind of laugh back and forth, but I told them, I said, so how was it? They said, oh, it was great. I said, about an hour and a half through, you were probably thinking, oh, if I could get out of this line, right?
I could escape.
They said, yeah, but then it actually, we didn't have any choice. But
it was worth sticking through it.
And afterwards, they were like thrilled.
Yeah, and really,
it was really neat.
Like I said, it was just amazing to me because I seen all the kids. I seen from the youngest of kids to the oldest of people. Were there.
That anticipation probably made the juice a little sweeter for them when they go through.
Yeah, it was really good. So, and for me as the sheriff, I believe that a police presence has to be there. That's why we're there.
Well, it's a community event.
It's a community
and you're there
event.
being a part of it. And this is that. And to be honest, and you know this, and way better than I do, but that's where you do your real policing, your real community policing. That's where you're talking to kids, talking to the public.
Talking to everybody.
They're seeing you guys in a light that isn't. Please lean up against the car with your hands behind your back.
It's a simple saying.
Yeah.
If you're not a people person, don't do a people person job.
Exactly.
It's that simple.
Yeah.
I had Juliana Halverson tells me, stop talking to people. We got to get them through. but you gotta talk when they're talking.
We were enjoying talking to people too much, I guess.
The fact that you mentioned that, Sheriff, I know for a fact he's been told that by multiple people at multiple. Because I'm with historical side, and I've heard we're going through the lines, and they're like. And there's Amy yelling at the sheriff, will you shut up, please, so these guys can go through.
That's right.
She told him, and then about an hour later, she comes over to me, she goes, just tell
Charles, you're not helping.
Come on, we're getting backed up. I said, but I know a lot of these people. They're visiting, you know.
Yeah, when they're talking, you
got you a candy cane, and the sheriff got you this.
You know. And when you're a deputy or a sheriff here,
that's what I said.
People come talk to you. You can't ignore them.
It's a people person.
It's the job.
That's right.
What I told her. I said, maybe not a good idea to put me at the front entrance. I said, because it's going to be. But as it was going, though, it went really good. And
it was
maybe
awesome.
Maybe they should just put a bunch of lights in you and make you as part of the display.
We need some of those. We need some cutouts.
Hey, if you're listening, our sheriff and deputy need a matching big flat mic here for their needs here.
Right.
If you can help us out there, that'd
all
be really
three of us will be in here with the cutout.
So it's been really good in the community. Policing that we're doing and the getting out there and visiting with the people, and we have had so many crimes solved because people now feel as though they can trust us and they can call us and talk to us.
You're like, hey, I'm going to give you the street scoop.
Absolutely.
There's no, we're just trying to here to make the problem go away or at least be resolved.
And the reality is we need the public to solve crime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's that simple, and we need to be approachable for the public to talk to us to solve crime.
Well, and to be honest, that's where that relationship in we talk, and I'm getting a little philosophical here, but when we talk about relationships between the public and police and
community police,
and we all watch, all of us have the image of watching insert crime TV drama here, and that's how it goes, and it's like
Andy Griffith Show.
Yeah, it's like yes and no, yes and no. I mean, yes, that's a microcosm where they're human beings, and they talk with you and interact with you, but at the same time, that it's that mindset of I'm the judge and you're the accused here, and that's not how policing is. It's a person coming up on the scene. What's the problem? How can we fix the problem right now? And if there is wrongdoing, then we'll sort that out later. But first things first, let's make sure everybody's safe, secure, and good to go.
The best police officers and the best detectives go in with an open mind. You never form an opinion until you see all the facts.
Sure.
And do more listening than you do talking.
Yep. So that's one of the things, like I told my guys, is that if you get there and you've already got your mind made up, you need to turn it over to this other individual, because you're gonna miss out on key evidence.
Sure. If you listen to a scientist, and a scientist and a police officer have a lot of the same mantra there, and scientists are like, well, how are you going to solve? How are you going to create this thing? Is that I go where the science takes me, and so they're like,
that's the evidence.
Is COVID bad for you? I don't know. What's the science take me? I'm going to go down that, and so I'll answer that question when I go down. Police work's no different. Who's guilty here? I don't know. I got to talk to everybody. Where does the evidence take me? And I'll tell you when I figure that out. But and that's all they're doing is seeing where the story and the evidence takes them to where the story goes.
That's
here.
exactly right.
And that's all the officer is trying to do is put that picture together.
We're not taking sides. We're there to sort it out, figure out what's going on, and then we go from there. But that's something that's important to us. And I hired on 2 new deputies this last Monday. I've got both of them came from the Roswell Police Department at one time, and I'll tell you what, I've got some great deputies.
They're doing phenomenal jobs.
They are out there. They're doing a fantastic job. They're getting out there, and I just had one that just graduated from the New Mexico Law Enforcement Academy. She scored the highest in her class. She did a fantastic job, and she's going to be a great asset here. She's also got a lot of patience because she was a school teacher for a long time.
Oh, wow.
So that makes her
Absolutely.
even a better asset.
Yep.
So
she's probably going to be a very mentor type on the streets out there.
So
And
we've got
That's
some
great.
good people out there, and so I'm looking here in the near future. I would like to get another canine. I would like to actually get a couple more canines.
Okay.
And that way we can have different shifts, and my DWI guys,
sure,
and all them. Now you're not only looking for, and we don't look for marijuana, but you got other things that are going on all over the place. You
still have fentanyl that's out there. In abundance.
Heroin and
it's
9 times
killing
out of 10
people left
nowadays.
and right.
Yeah.
So.
Can I ask it? This is more of a philosoph or a question about tactics, some kind of thing. When you talk about dogs and things, I know obviously you guys are leaning and getting dogs for drug sniffing and things like that, but being the county and we got a lot of vast area, I mean, do you guys look at getting a search and rescue type dog as well?
They
part
can
of that?
be trained as that.
They can be trained in tracking.
I always understood there were like 2 different dogs. No, one's not
They
good
can
for
be
the other. but
multiple trained.
Okay.
Dual trained.
Because I'm thinking you don't need them very often, as many as you do the drug dogs.
Right.
However,
we've had some.
There's
incidents.
probably maybe once or twice a month where you probably need a dog to track down a suspect or look for a missing person, something like that. Yeah.
And like I said, it even goes farther than that. It goes, like I said, we don't want the attack dogs.
Gotcha.
We just don't.
Those
want
are the
that.
ones that are trained to be more if a suspect's running to go chase them.
But because of our going into the schools and
Which is
looking
still a
for
good one, I don't
drugs
care.
and things like that, I just don't want anything that's going to bite anybody.
Sure.
We don't want a kid to get bit or anything like
Sure.
that. So maybe later down the road, as things start getting a little more, we get more manpower or whatever, maybe I might get a couple of those for patrol.
Get one of those old bloodhounds like we see in the movies. You know, the one that looks like Flash
from the old prison.
Yeah, looks like Flash from the Dukes of Hazzard.
Yeah.
You know, you're not going to harm a fly, but can
a hound dog.
Yeah, but can hunt down a smell in a snowstorm. You know what I mean? That's what.
Yeah, the one from Smoking the Bandit.
Yeah, exactly.
Bo. There you go.
Get you one of them.
So we're looking at doing that. We're also looking to get our school resource officers back into place, and we've got a lot of things going that we want to get underway.
That's a good sign because I imagine that stuff went away because of staffing and it just life happens. So now that you guys are starting to get more sheriff's deputies applying, getting back into the fold here, now we can start ramping back up and doing the things that were kind of ancillary. More folks back at the courthouse, more folks out in the schools, things like that.
And on that note, we are always accepting applications. You can go to chavezcounty.com.
Mm-hmm.
It is on the Chaves County website. It is a general application.
Okay.
You can print it out, bring it back in, drop it off at the county manager suite inside the rotunda, or you can email it back to HR. All the directions are on there.
Okay.
You can electronically sign it. It takes about 3 to 5 business days for HR to send it over to me.
Okay.
Once I get it, I will review it. But we are always actively taking applications, and we do have some positions to fill.
And we're going to be testing here in about 10 minutes at the Wool Bowl.
Okay, well, we'll let you go get to that here. Yeah. But when's like because the classes only happen certain times a year. When's the next? So if you've got recruiters going now,
there's two classes during the year for the academy.
So if you're applying now, you're trying to get in for the January class.
That's right.
We're trying.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
I know you're probably a little bit behind the 8 ball if you start right now, but we can get her done.
Yes,
we
and
can
what
make
we
it
want,
happen.
Yeah, and what we want people to understand is it's a process.
Mm-hmm.
We do lose a couple of people because they think it's similar to applying at another business, a smaller business.
Gotcha.
You go in, you fill out an application, and they call you back, and you do a UA, and you're done.
Yeah.
But with this type of job, there is a process. There's a physical, there's a psychological, there's the background. So we ask the applicants, and we tell them, we do an interview. Be patient.
And that's even before you get to the training.
If you don't hear from us for 2 or 3 weeks, we haven't forgotten about you. We're getting your work done.
Sure. It just takes time. It's glacial on some of that.
And we have to make sure we're getting the best.
We want a good
and I would imagine, too, some of the background, some of the stuff, you have to rely on outside resources, which you're beholden to their time to do all that kind of stuff. So,
and because it is such a thorough background investigation, we do have to make sure that when we bring somebody on, there's no baggage, or nothing that's going to be there. So
it's one of those things, and it's true in any way. Obviously, people do things, and there's no amount of screening in the world that can guarantee 100%
what someone's going to do later.
But to do later, however, you guys can get a very good idea of how someone ticks by just looking through that and say, okay, it's they're clean or whatever, but or if they do have some kind of history here, you can follow that trail and say, all right, there's the tendencies here. If we do hire this person, this is what we got to look out
patterns
for. Kind of
and things like that.
We're gonna be releasing our other officer involved shooting video here coming up pretty soon.
All right. So check the Facebook page for that when it's ready.
Watch that; it'll be coming up this coming week.
Okay.
Yeah. Always follow the Chaves County Sheriff's Office Facebook page. One thing I will tell you is, if anybody knows how to work Facebook, now that it's got this new deal,
it's above your pay grade now.
It really is.
I don't even log on.
I'm not a Facebook guy.
But we have so many followers on there, and I also spread it to different pages. But now I can't figure out how to share it to those other pages, because if it doesn't pop up in the share, then you can't share it to those individuals. So I've got a lot to do on that. But
I don't know if this is going to be helpful or not, but when I have those kind of questions, I talk to that man in that room right over there.
The guy that's running all the buttons.
I talk to that
all
guy.
The computer stuff.
So maybe before you guys head out here, grab a sandwich and pick his brain a little bit and see if he can help you.
I can tell you, I've got 3 sites, and we try to get it all out there. And my gosh, I should have never clicked on that. I messed that up. They burned up, boy. I was like, man, I tried everything to go back and.
When you have your kids or your grandkids setting your watch for you, you're not a computer guy.
But we do have some good things on there, and every day we're putting it out there. I just put out the latest pictures from November's DWI arrest. We did all the arrests the guys have done, and just lots of stuff. Pictures. We've got lots of accidents happening right now.
Mm-hmm.
The holidays are here. Yeah, so please be careful. If you traveling on 380 east going to Tatum, be careful on that road. Even though it may look clear, you start to pass, and here comes one up from a dip that you didn't even know was there.
And they're all high speeds. Everyone's doing 70 mile an hour plus on that.
100 miles an hour. Yeah.
So 70 is the speed limit, guys.
70 is the speed limit.
The sun is in your eyes when you're leaving in the morning. The sun is in your eyes when you're getting back. So be very careful.
Be careful on those, and know that we're doing everything we can to try to get that to be at least get some passing lanes, or a 2-lane or a 4-lane out there, actually. But it's just that time of year where people are traveling, and we want to make sure everybody is around to
enjoy the holidays.
And be warned, law enforcement will be on patrol during the holiday season, making sure you're not texting and driving, drinking and driving.
We are running saturation patrols.
Drugging and driving, all of that stuff.
We are doing impact details, saturation patrols. So
we're working, and like I said, I've got guys who love this job, and they are working their butts off. So we're thankful for them.
Absolutely. So good deal. Well, I think we're going to talk to you again right between Christmas and New Year's here.
So I like to be
Merry
here for
Christmas to you guys.
Merry Christmas
I don't know if
early.
you're going to be on the beat that day or not, but probably.
Absolutely.
Probably. I don't know if you got, you're like, hey, you're the boss. You can take that day
People
off.
ask, and I just tell them we only work 8 days a week, 25 hours a day.
That's right.
I figure if the guy does a schedule, you can work your own day off.
But the easiest thing about that is we love this job.
Yeah.
So it's not, we're not going to work.
Yeah.
You see,
you're doing it for the love of the job.
We absolutely.
And the community.
Yeah.
That's my deal. The
get
job
to enjoy
is
people and.
Well, we appreciate you guys because not everybody can do that.
Well, we
you guys
try to
are
make
special
every
breed,
event we can.
Yeah, you guys are everywhere.
We're everywhere.
I'm pretty sure. I'm just saying. I know that.
You ever
movie,
seen the movie Multiplicity?
That's what I'm saying. There's a couple Charles and a couple Mike sitting in a basement somewhere in the county building.
They better be in the office right now getting their work done, right?
Number 3's on that.
That's right.
All right.
Thank you guys. Merry Christmas.
Folks, once again, if you know of a crime that's been committed or is about to be committed, or if you have any information, please contact Chaves County Crime Stoppers or the Chaves County Sheriff's Office at 624-6500.
Could be handsomely rewarded for your information.
Absolutely. Thank you for your time.
Thank you.
Christmas money, Christmas shopping. Absolutely.
Have a great Friday.
Thank you guys. Appreciate you.
Thank you.
8:57. Quick break before news. Don't go away.
It's back and just in time for Christmas, the Yucca Blossom Christmas Jamboree. Come experience a winter wonderland of vendors. Over 50 will be fully stocked to help you take care of all of your Christmas shopping. No waiting, no shipping. The Yucca Blossom Christmas Jamboree is Saturday and Sunday, December 11 and 12 at the Eddy County Fairgrounds. Family fun includes a cornhole tournament, Moose Caboose Kids Train, a mechanical bull, Runyon Ranch Petting Zoo, and more. Bring the kids because you know who will be there too. Saturday and Sunday, December 11 and 12 at the Eddy County Fairgrounds in Artesia. And thanks to Navajo Refining Holly Frontier for helping us get the word out. Eastern New Mexico University basketball is back on the hardwood as they continue their home schedule versus Champion Christian Thursday, December 16th for Youth Day at 10 a.m. and noon. And the men's team takes on Cameron University Saturday, December 18th at 4 p.m. You don't want to miss out on all the high-flying excitement as the men's and women's teams begin their journeys towards a Lone Star Conference Championship and postseason play. Tickets are only $5 for adults. Kids 8 and under are free. Visit GoEasternAthletics.com for more information. ENMU men's and women's basketball, all in.
Join Hot New Country 92.9 The Brand and Fiero 106.1 for a live broadcast this Saturday from 10 to 1 at Roswell Nissan. Gear up for the holidays with a fantastic selection of vehicles and thousands in rebates and savings. Plus, 0 down delivers and no payments till 2022. We'll have hot dogs and ice-cold Pepsi products, and Roswell Nissan has your chance to score big with a brand new Xbox Series X. 1 entry for stopping by, 3 with a test drive or service, and 5 with any purchase. Drawing a 1 must be present to win. See us Saturday 10 to 1 at Roswell Nissan. 2111 S. Second.
Is a potential sign of COVID or the flu, and the Exergen Temporal Scanner Thermometer has been proven accurate with more than 100 clinical studies. Be vigilant and seek medical advice at the first sign of fever. Be accurate with Exergen. Exergen Temporal Scanners, available at Walmart and other fine retailers. Learn more at Exergen.com. That's EXERGEN.com. Exergen is changing the way the world takes temperature.
Looking for the perfect gift? Get him a shirt from Untuck It. Untuck It shirts are designed to be worn untucked. They're the easiest way to keep him looking sharp and feeling comfortable. You can't go wrong with their super soft flannels, wrinkle-free shirts, performance shirts with stretch, and cozy sweaters that are all perfect for right now. They even have a line for her. Find the perfect gift for every guy on your list at one of 80-plus Untuck It stores or at untuckit.com. Untuck It. Shirts designed to be worn untucked.
Related case, the Supreme Court says Texas abortion providers can sue over the state's ban on most abortions. At the same time, though, the justices are allowing the law to remain in effect. The court's ruling comes more than a month after justices heard arguments over the statute that makes abortion illegal after an unborn child's heartbeat is detected. That's usually at around 6 weeks.
The former president has sought to block the document.
It is a final Washington farewell to an American statesman and hero. A military honor guard escorting the casket of the late Senator Bob Dole up the steps of Washington National Cathedral. That's where a private funeral is now getting underway. The next stop for former President Trump may be the U.S. Supreme Court. He may appeal after a lower court's ruling rejecting his bid to shield documents from the Democrat-controlled congressional panel that's investigating the U.S. Capitol riot.
The former president has sought to block the documents release, claiming executive privilege, but the appeals court says there's a unique legislative need for them, and the injunction preventing the National Archives from turning them over will expire in 2 weeks, or when the Supreme Court rules on an expected Trump appeal, whichever is later.
That's correspondent Ben Thomas reporting. The United States may slap more economic sanctions on Iran. That's according to the White House, which says there could be more sanctions against the Islamic Republic if progress isn't being made in the ongoing nuclear talks. On Wall Street this hour, stocks in positive territory. Right now, the Dow Jones Industrial Average up 49 points. The NASDAQ Composite Index trading 21 points higher, and the S&P 500 Index is up 16 points. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Great news, Nick. Legacy boxes are still in stock. With Christmas just around the corner, there's still time to buy the best Christmas gift ever. Legacy Box.
That's right, Adam. Order today and Legacy Box ships immediately. It'll arrive ready to wrap and place under the tree.
Gather the family together this Christmas and collect all your old VHS and camcorder tapes, slides, pictures, and film reels. Then you can binge on the good old days.
From fading over time to risks like fire and water damage, your memories aren't protected unless they're on a digital format. Legacy Box helps you replay those great moments from the past, from Christmas morning to your wedding day.
Legacy Box is the world's largest digitizer of home movies and photos. All the work is done right here in the USA, and over 1 million customers have trusted Legacy Box.
This Christmas is the time to digitize. Visit legacybox.com/lbox for exclusive holiday savings. That's legacybox.com/lbox for last-minute shopping. legacybox.com/lbox.
Sri Lanka introducing a system of mandatory COVID vaccination passes for people who want to visit public venues.
With the resumption of day-to-day activities and the gradual return of foreign tourists, the Sri Lankan government is taking additional steps to prevent another outbreak. People who want to access public places like shopping malls and government buildings are expected to be asked to carry vaccination cards. A detailed list of public places will be announced next week. The government is already drafting a law to make vaccination compulsory for all citizens who are eligible for the dose. It has started giving booster jabs to those above 30 years of age and wants to complete the process within weeks.
The BBC's Embarrassing Etarajan. New coronavirus infections in South Korea exceeding 7,000 for the third consecutive day. Record-breaking surge has crushed hospitals, threatening the country's goals to weather the pandemic without lockdowns. News and analysis, townhall.com. It's that time of year where the snow has started flying in a lot of places, and states from Washington to Pennsylvania, some in the Rocky Mountains, having a tough time finding enough people to work as snowplow drivers.
The job is comparatively low paying, requires a commercial driver's license, and often entails working at odd hours in dangerous conditions. States are warning that it could take longer for the plows to clear highways during winter storms. State transportation departments are competing for drivers with trucking companies with the ability to increase pay and offer signing bonuses. And trucking companies are short on drivers, too.
Correspondent Jeremy House. Jesse Smollett's attorney says he's 100% confident his client's conviction of lying to police will be overturned on appeal. Smollett, convicted by a jury in Chicago of staging a hate crime against himself in 2019. More on these stories at townhall.com.
What in the wide, wide world of sports is going on here?
I promise you, whatever scum did this, not one man in this force will rest for 1 minute until he's behind bars. Now let's grab a bite to eat. Yeah, come on.
I feel the hot wind on my shoulder and the touch of a world that is older. I hit the switch and check the number. Get on and then I slumber. I hear the rhythm ringing through it. Flamenco guitar and cumbia music. I hear the talking of the DJ. The devil listen, what does he say? I'm on a Mexican radio. I'm on a Mexican radio.
Broadcasting live from high atop the J.P. White Building in downtown Roswell, New Mexico. It's Mornings with Mike Winters on 106.5 Roswell's Talk FM.
Is that what I sound like when I talk?
Now, here's your host, Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 6 minutes after 9 o'clock. Welcome to Inferno number 3.
I was trying to think what 80 degrees is in Spanish. 80 degrees.
I don't know what degrees is, but 80 is 80.
Oh, my girlfriend would be ashamed of me. Puto. Sorry.
Yeah, it's but you know what? I should not complain. I just looked. It's 79 in here now.
Ooh, a whole degree.
I cracked it open another couple inches, and I'm down to 1 degree.
Here's the thing.
Turning off the light will actually help after the show.
It might. Right
after the show, turning off the light will help.
It will. Right before we got on the air, Mike goes, "It's not your fault." I'm like, "It's all my fault. It's completely my fault." Because for 2 days, I was freezing cold.
Yeah.
You know, and I couldn't get warm, and so once we finally got there, it was a point of no return. It's almost like we looped the transmission.
I'm just
came back on itself.
Tanner came in here right before and he goes, I'm trying to get some air. I was like, ain't none to be had.
I heard him and I'm like, I feel like the entire staff is rallying. That's why I came in here and said, I can't make a single decision in this place without being ridiculed for a month.
We're all people of larger carriage. We sweat profusely. That's what we do.
I get it. I have crevasses myself. I understand. It's so weird, dude. That's half the reason I stopped working out in darker clothing, especially because I would get that weird underboob sweat line. Yeah, so it's just,
I get all that too.
Yeah.
Well, not so much there.
Yeah, it's like just there. I don't get it here. I never got like the classic like.
Mine always shows
sweat.
it there.
Yeah, it's like here and back here is where I sweat.
Yeah.
The seat of my sweat.
So I try not to do that by avoiding physical activity whenever way, shape, or form possible.
Exactly. Sedentary. Gets the job done.
Gelatinous, if you will. But it's bad when it's 80 in the room when you like that.
It is a little warm, yeah.
Anyway, happy Friday, everybody.
The ice has melted in my beverage.
Yeah, my iced tea's just tea now. Oh, no, there's no cube in there. A little cubage left.
That's what I'm saying.
Oh, there's no tea, though. It's all clear.
Well, then cool yourself down. Chomp on some ice, and I'll go ahead and do the plug. Go ahead.
I done drank it. All right.
Let me tell you about McDonald's. They have 2 locations right here in Roswell. They have one in Artesia, one in Carlsbad. Let me tell you, the Snowburgers, they know exactly what they're doing when it comes to your breakfast, lunch, and dinner needs. They can get you quenched, they can get you fed, they can get you satiated with your favorites on the menu or the specials through the app. Download the app, save yourself a ton of money. Use that app for discounts, savings, and rebates. Right now, Mariah doing her 12 days of Christmas giveaways. You get something free through the app every single day, I believe now through Christmas.
I can't tell. Could you hear my ice crunching through the headphones?
Oh, yeah, I can hear it.
I couldn't tell if it was in my head or...
That was some real ASMR.
I was like, I can't tell if this is going over the headphones or it's just me in my head hearing crunching. I don't know how loud
that's the thing. It was probably going out. They probably didn't hear it, but since I'm like, you're right in my ear holes,
Okay.
I got it. Oh, don't forget, McDonald's also on the hire. So if you were looking for work, the McDonald's is looking for you, and they promote from within. Stop by mchire.com. That's mchire.com. Or if you're our boss, https://www.mchire.com.
That's right. And you too. Maybe you can. Never mind. I was going to do a Dave joke, but no one cares about that but me right now. So, by the way,
okay.
I am complete. I have seen all 2 seasons of Dave.
Nice. I want to get deeper into it. I've had kids for the last 2 days. I had to stop after a certain scene in episode 3. I believe you know the scene I'm talking about.
I'm sure I do. And yes, there is no kid-friendly because it's over the top with some of the things in there. And
it's censored on the FX version as far as like some of the cursing goes.
Not on Hulu.
But not on Hulu. Yeah. They give it the South Park treatment, right?
And the nudity too. I don't know if they bleep nudity on
I would
FXX.
assume.
They show it on the FX.
Well, they certainly show rubberized versions of it.
I saw more of Dave than I entirely wanted to over the course of that 2 seasons. There. I'm saying way more of Dave.
Saw both the bean and the prank.
It's not overt, like in your face.
It wouldn't be.
But it's
not Bruno.
It's about, yes.
Dude. That was one of the most awkward moments of my entire life. Because I don't know why. I still to this day don't know why. But we saw Bruno in theaters.
Really?
Yes. I don't know why. I was with my father-in-law at the time. And that scene came up.
Yeah.
And I just like... If you've ever seen Bruno, you know the scene I'm talking about. If you
I know exactly what you're talking.
You're lucky.
I the only comparison I have there is I saw the first Borat in a theater.
Oh.
And there is one scene in that movie.
the wrestling scene specifically. That's the thing. I could reference your scene because there's like some context to it. My scene and it's just out of the middle of the movie. There's just all of a sudden this weird dancing thing that happens.
Yeah, right in your face.
Right in your face. Like eye to eye.
Yeah. So I can commiserate with that feeling there. And only thing that's weirder is going to see 50 Shades of Grey and your in-laws are with you. That's a little bit but awkward too.
Let me show you my playroom. You mean where your Xboxes are?
That's a bit but awkward too. But
I can imagine. Michael, what's a riding crop?
I'm a city slicker. I don't know about horses.
No. So you're finished with Dave. You said you're gonna start Letterkenny now?
Letterkenny's I'm gonna maybe lunch today. I might pick up my first. If not, it'll be tonight, but it'll definitely be today. I'm gonna crack open my first letter, Kenny.
You're hanging out with your pals the other day.
I'm caught up on Hawkeye. I'm also caught up on
now they're doing that episodic, right?
Yeah, Mayor of Kingstown on Paramount's episodic. Hawkeye is episodic. Wednesdays for Hawkeye. I think Fridays or something. Or
That's
Saturdays.
a weird release day for a
Saturdays
show.
for all Hawkeyes every Wednesday. I want to say Saturday is the Mayor of Kingstown release dates.
Okay.
Because I watched the latest one yesterday, and it said it released December 4th, which was last Saturday. So
right.
I'm thinking it's a Saturday
that makes
release.
sense.
So, but anyway, so I'm caught up on those. By the way, I'm liking Mayor of Kingstown more and more.
Mm-hmm.
Hawkeye I'm liking less.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Part of me feels like they have to, because there's not a lot of backstory for a lot of these ancillary Marvel characters, they kind of have to build in the backstory.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's where it falls short.
Yeah, and it gets a little too in the weeds for me. Well, I'm fine. It's good. I'm still going to finish it, but I don't know. It's getting a little Disney-y for me. I don't like it.
When you're a company that has to service the fanboys as well as the noobs, you have to cast a wide net. That's the problem. They kind of don't. We're going to go for the nerd boys. We're going to specifically hit these references so that the fans will be like, oh, they did the thing. And I feel like they do that too many times and kind of go back to that well too often.
Yeah. Elliot Rodriguez of CMG Financial is going to join us here in just a little bit. But while we wait for him, he's not here, I don't think yet. Something I am interested in checking out. I saw an advertisement for it yesterday.
Okay.
Amazon Prime is doing a movie about Lucille Ball.
I heard about this.
The Ricardos or something like that.
Yep, and I think it's
Nicole Kidman is Lucille Ball. I can't remember who plays Desi Arnaz.
Right.
I saw a trailer for it last night. And it's going to be on Amazon Prime and in theaters.
Yeah.
I'm guessing Christmas.
Probably, simultaneously.
Yeah.
And it does look incredible. Who was it? What's the chick from Third Rock? I think she might be involved in that. I heard something about her doing something recently.
Well, she's been in Mom.
Yeah, but she was.
That's the most recent thing I saw her in. She was one of the women on Mom.
Well, because her name came up on something the other day that some reboot for something. I'm not sure it was that or something else, but
I can't remember her name. I know you're talking about. You're talking about the
blonde.
Yeah,
the chick from Third Rock from the Sun.
Yes, yes, the one chick.
Yeah,
the one woman that was in the cast of Third. Yeah. Last time I seen her, she was on Mom.
Kristen. I don't
remember her name.
I can't remember.
I don't remember her name. I could tell you her face and see her. Kind of a Kirstie Alley type, if you remember. That's what she always kind of reminded me of. She's very tall.
Yeah.
She's bigger now.
I bet.
She's put on some weight and things.
She's broad.
Since her Third Rock from the Sun days. But she's that's the reason it was interesting, because on Mom, what's her name? The main character, she was on, her name just went right up. She's a famous actress. She was on.
You're talking about Anna Faris.
No, the other one, the mom.
Channing.
No, what is her name? She was on. She's on 100. She was on I, Tonya.
Peter Griffin named his giraffe after her. What was her name?
Anyway, she's real tall.
Yeah.
And so on the show, they were like the two, and then Anna Faris is like tiny short.
I hate that. I hate that we both suffer from the same condition.
Yeah. Oh, I say the name 1,000 times.
I know, and that's the thing. We're going to keep talking out. Nope.
Shoot.
Just keep talking.
Yeah, but anyway, that's
so it's a bio.
Allison Janney.
Allison Janney. You're absolutely right. Allison Janney.
I knew it would come to me.
So the Lucy movie is more of a biopic, right?
It looks
the behind the scenes. It's the turmoil of what happened.
It looks like the production company and whatever
Desilu.
Yeah, and all of that, and then the stuff that, because they had a troubled marriage.
There's
at some point.
a lot.
I don't know if there was some abuse or something. I don't remember.
There's
the story,
a lot that's known about the whole Lucy and Desi story.
Yeah.
That's just it's known, but it's sort of like not talked about. It's almost like ignored, glazed over,
and times where this stuff was not discussed.
But I almost liken it to. See, and now her name's gone. Wizard of Oz.
Judy Garland.
Okay. Kind of her story. You know how just sort of how she got kind of wrapped up in things, and it sort of it was the fame took her over essentially.
Well, from what I understood, Lucy was always a very, what she wanted, and that's how she was. You know what I mean? So she was of that vein. So people that are of like that. People that aren't probably thought ill of her. And I'm thinking there's probably some of that going on.
Right.
And then I know with her and Desi Arnaz, there was talk of infidelity and I want to say some kind of abuse, but I don't know if that's speculation. I don't know all the details, but I know there was some of that talk way back in the day. So I'm interested in seeing the movie and see what they're going to do. But
absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, it's on Amazon Prime and in theaters. I want to say like Christmas or something. I don't know the exact.
This Christmas.
Yeah.
She's got some splaining to do.
And there's another movie coming out only in theaters around that time that I want to see too, and I can't remember what it is. And that one I might actually go to theater.
I might hold out until they put Ghostbusters on Max, but I'm desperate to see it.
It's a good movie. I enjoyed it. I loved it. I thought it was, for what it was entertaining. It was well worth the trip to the movies to go see. Maybe it's the Marvel. Marvel's got a new one coming out Christmas around, don't they?
I'm not totally sure.
I want to say there's another.
I'll tell you this. I checked out one episode of an interesting show on Hulu. And once you get through all your other stuff, I recommend it. It's called Hit Monkey.
Hit Monkey. I haven't heard that one.
It's a Marvel show. That's what it reminded me of.
Oh, I did see a commercial
for that. It's an animated show, and it's
trending on Hulu right now, isn't it?
It's pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's animated, but it's basically exactly what it sounds like. It's a hitman that's a monkey.
Okay.
It's a monkey hitman.
All right.
And hilarity ensues. I've only seen one episode so far.
Does the monkey talk?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, and I'm pretty sure I think it's Jason Sudeikis. I could be wrong on that.
Okay.
It's somebody recognizable. I couldn't put my finger on it like right off.
But it's a Marvel product, so is it set in the Marvel universe?
Yes.
Like Iron Man and all this is running around while this monkey's assassinating
I'm assuming
people?
I haven't gotten to that point yet, but
so is the monkey a good guy or a bad guy?
Yes.
All right.
Yes. Kind of the anti-hero, which is kind of what I'm totally digging. It's like, not only are you a monkey that's a hitman, you're also a monkey that's a hitman that's got layers.
So is he like the Punisher in the primate world?
Dude, from what I've gathered, it's pretty freaking bad. Pretty gnarly, man. That monkey's got some moves. I need to get further into it. I haven't gotten into like the lore of it yet, but like I wanted to find one nerd thing that like nobody else is watching in like my friends or girlfriend group, so I can like introduce them to, because everybody's like, well, have you checked this out? Have you watched Bridgerton? Have you watched? I'm like, I just want a thing.
Yeah.
And my thing
I
was
saw the advertising it was trending on Hulu the other day. So
yeah, Letterkenny first, but when you get to it, Hitmonkey's pretty good.
I'll do it. It is 9:19. Let's get you up to date on the weather. Spoiler alert, it's windy.
I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton with your Pecos Valley weather. Cool and very windy today. Gusts of 45 to 50 miles per hour through the day. Some blowing dust will be possible. We should have sunshine and our high in the upper 60s. For tonight, partly cloudy down to the mid-20s and breezy. And then sunny and cool weather coming up for Saturday with our high in the mid-50s, mid-60s, and fair on Sunday and a little gusty. I'm meteorologist Steve Hamilton, and that's your latest forecast.
Now, the rap name, Lil Gusty, Lil Gusty. Currently 59 degrees here in Roswell. Humidity is at 49%. Winds are currently out of the south at 9 miles per hour. We have a wind advisory in effect through 7 p.m. this evening. Red flag warning will kick in at 10 o'clock this morning, here in about 40 minutes or so, and that will remain in effect through 6 p.m. this evening. Areas of blowing dust today after 11. Good news, mostly sunny, high of 66. That's the good news. The rest, not so much. Winds will be up out of the southwest, 20 to 30. Could see wind gusts as high as 40 miles per hour later today. Tonight, partly cloudy, going to be chilly, overnight low of 23. Our overnight low was in the 40s, mid-40s last night. Tonight, 23. That's going to be a big difference in a feel for the weather there. North winds 10 to 20 miles per hour. Saturday, bringing in cooler temperatures. Highs only expected to reach mid-50s tomorrow. Sunny, 55 with west winds 5 to 10 miles per hour. Saturday night, we're looking at clear skies. Another chilly night, overnight low of 23. South winds at around 5 miles per hour. Sunday, we're back up in the low 60s. Sunny, 63. Winds will be out of the south at around 5 miles per hour. Sunday night, clear skies, overnight low of 30. And then Monday, we'll be back up in the upper 60s near 70 and then mid-70s Tuesday and Wednesday of next week. Hey, I invite you to go on out to Christchurch this Sunday, December 12th, located at 2200 Sycamore here in Roswell. They have got a special treat for everyone. The Flying J Wranglers and their White Mountain Christmas is coming to Christchurch. 2 show times this Sunday, 3 p.m., and then at 5:30 p.m. Admission is free. A love offering will be available for the band if you'd like to contribute there, but you are by no means obligated. And I'm telling you, if you've never seen the Flying J Wranglers, or if you have, then you know exactly what I'm talking about, but you never have, go. They are amazing. I don't care even if you're not into country or cowboy music or Western style music, country Western. That's even if you're not into it, they're so talented. They're so amazing. The musicians there playing guitars, banjos, mandolins, that's a different thing. And singing, fiddle. I mean, they're just amazing. And I've been going and watching their show almost every year at the Flying J Wranglers Ranch up in Alto there. And you can come see it, again, for free. 3 o'clock, 5:30 p.m. this Sunday at Christ Church, 2200 Sycamore in Roswell. Free admission. However, they are taking a love offering if you'd like to contribute. By no means are you obligated to. And if you have any questions, want more information, reach them at the church at 575-623-4110. All right, 9:23. Let's take a 3-minute break, and then we're going to talk with Elliot Rodriguez from CMG Financial. Don't go away. You're listening to Mornings with Mike Winters.
Nook's Asian Market brings the flavors of the East to you with new winter hours. The restaurant is now open 11 a.m. to 6:30 p.m. and the store 11 a.m. to 7 p.m. every day. Be sure to get your last order in by 6:30 p.m. Delicious, authentic dishes, including a variety of Thai noodle soups, dried egg noodles, dumplings, and more, served at your table or to go. While you wait, browse the store with lots of fresh new ingredients like galunga, lemongrass, lime leaf, and Thai chili. Nook's Asian Market, South Main, Roswell.
The ultimate Wi-Fi experience is now available to you thanks to Smart Home Wi-Fi with Plateau. Get fiber-to-home technology 100 times faster than the average household internet speed. Plateau has multiple plans to fit your family. With Fast, get true 100 megs per second upload and download speed. With Faster, get true 500 meg. And with Fastest, get 16 gigs of download and upload speeds. Learn more at plateaufiber.com. Get the speed you need with Plateau. Tried, true, trusted.
The most wonderful sale of the century is on now at Roswell Nissan for 6 days only. Prices slashed across the lot, 0 down, and no payments for 90 days. Get a 2017 Sentra for just $219 a month, a 2013 Civic for just $199 a month, or a 2011 Hyundai Tucson for just $169 a month. Play Lucky Lotto to win cash and prizes and register to win a brand new hard-to-find Xbox Series X. Drawing Saturday, December 11th, 1 p.m. Must be present to win. The most wonderful sale of the century on now at Roswell Nissan, 2111 West 2nd.
That first Christmas was messy, but so was the world. Jesus was born into a messy world full of sin and darkness. When Isaiah prophesied about the Messiah, he proclaimed, "The people walking in darkness have seen a great light. On those living in the land of deep darkness, a light has dawned." When Jesus entered the world, darkness indeed had flooded the land. Today is no different. You don't have to look far in this world to see brokenness and darkness. We live in a messy world. However, God's messy but perfect plan changed everything. That day, God became flesh and was wrapped in old priestly garments and laid in a manger. That was messy, but God wanted it that way. Jesus came to our messy world to be sacrificed for our messiness. How messy is our world? How dark is the world around you? Today, I want to remind you of the light that came into the world for all the world in the form of a baby on that blessed Christmas morning. No matter your mess, He is your light and your Redeemer.
Join us at the Country Club Road Church of Christ for worship at 10 a.m. on Sunday, located on the corner of Country Club and Washington in Roswell.
Otto von Bismarck is said to have quipped, "Laws are like sausages. It's better not to see them being made." While that's a great line, we respectfully disagree. We're New Mexico Foundation for Open Government, a nonpartisan, not-for-profit organization that exists to promote transparency in government, so you not only know what's happening, but why, and by whom. Because what you don't know can hurt you. Visit nmfog.org and become a member today. Sponsored by New Mexico Broadcasters Association.
Here's a Mornings with Mike Winters fun fact. There are 293 ways to make change for $1. Try all 293 on the guy who keeps borrowing money from you. Here's Mike Winters.
And good morning. It is 9:26, and joining us in studio this morning from CMG Financial, Elliot Rodriguez back with us. Good morning, sir.
Good morning, Roswell. Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas. How was Thanksgiving for you?
It was awesome.
Yeah?
I mean, I was eating leftovers like 5 days afterwards, and it got better as the time goes. Is that something?
I enjoy it, but I did hit a wall at some point. After like 4 or 5 days, I was like, all right, I want something that has nothing to do with turkey or dressing, please.
But you know what? At home, she did this casserole, Thanksgiving casserole.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Tore that up, huh?
I mean, I seriously got better as it went. Seriously.
Nice.
It's like I think all the flavors kind of get into it a little more.
It's like, I'm gonna get some of that back.
Yeah, it's almost like when you make a nice batch of chili. It's really good the first day.
Yeah.
But as it goes, it gets spicier. The flavors are even
Soup
there
is
more.
very much like that.
So it's kind of something like that.
I almost am in the school of you make soup and don't eat it till the next day. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just because it turns out better there. Well, I'm glad you and your family had an awesome Thanksgiving here.
Yes.
Turning your attention to Christmas now, I'm sure. But if for folks that aren't familiar, Elliot joins us once a month, and he's the man that helps you finance the home that you want. You talk to real estate agents to help you select and choose and deal with the process of purchasing a home. But before you see that person, you got to come see Elliot and say, and to do it right. I mean, legally, I guess you can do it your own way, but if the smart way is to go see Elliot first, sit down with him. He goes over and says, all right, here's what you realistically can afford right now. We can approve you up to this. And that way, then you go talk to the real estate agent and say, all right, I'm been pre-approved up to this. I don't want to go over this, whether it's the number you're pre-approved for or something below that. That's where you have those conversations with your real estate agent. But prior to that, that's where you talk to Elliot and say, all right, let's make the arrangements. So when you find the perfect house for you, you know your financing is good to go. And it's just a matter of starting the process and signing the paperwork and dotting the I's and doing all that. That's where Elliot comes in. That's pretty good description, I think, right? Of kind of what you do there.
That is about right.
Yeah.
Best case scenario is for you to start talking to me.
Sure.
Okay. And that way you can be 100% for sure what you're going to be able to do. Because that's the biggest mistake going shopping. It's like going to Target.
Yeah.
And you forget your wallet at home and you can't shop.
Yeah.
Even though you maybe can. And that's, you can buy that, but you don't have it with you, so you cannot finish the transaction.
Exactly. Or you don't know how much money you have available, and you're buying 20 Xboxes or whatever at Target, and you're like, oh man, I only had $50 to spend. I just spent 500.
I'm a little short.
Yeah.
No, it's the best thing is to talk to your lender and to actually, get pre-approved and try to get solid. If your situation is solid and you know 100% what you can buy, and you actually bring all the stuff to the lender, okay, bring me all the stuff that I'm requiring from you, it's a must. Very important, because if you can do that, it makes the whole process so much easier.
Absolutely.
And it happens constantly. That we start the process, get somebody pre-approved, we give them a list. This is all I need from you. And somehow I have a contract in front of me before I even got the stuff that I need from the buyer. It happens like that, a lot of times.
When you got some people that are ready and motivated.
Yeah, they're very motivated. They can't hold back. But it's a good idea. I'm not saying it's not a good thing to do. It's just it's best to be prepared completely.
Absolutely, yeah. It's hard to be surprised when you're prepared.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? That way you anticipate any wrinkles or any potential problems or issues down the road.
Correct.
And then you can mitigate them and hopefully resolve them before they become a bigger issue.
Correct.
One of the other things that definitely I want to touch on here with Elliot is, Elliot being a lender for you to help get your mortgage. But here's where Elliot really likes to, and this is where I think the difference between him and, saying, going to big company that advertises an app here, or you know what I mean? Well, you can get you approved in 2 minutes. Just tell us, push this button, all that mess. And you're like, wonderful, now what? Elliot's going to be the guy that actually can sit down, explain to you what all that means. And if you are not quite there, that's where you, and this is where most people don't. They just say, I'm sorry, you're not qualified. Come back when you're qualified. Have a nice day. You're like, all right, here's where we're at. You're up short, but here's why. This is what we need to do. Let's come up with a plan. How are you on it? And then Elliot will sit down with you and give you a plan that will help you get into a position to where that no goes to a yes. And that's the difference, I think, because you're like, no, I'm here to help you. And it's easy to help you when everything's perfect, and I just have to hand you a check. That's easy.
That's very true.
And that's the dream, but most of us aren't that person. Most of us have lived lives. Our credit scores aren't 814, and we've paid every bill on time since we started, and our credit to debt ratio is superb, and all. Most of us don't live in that world. Some of us live in somewhere. I mean, not all of us live in 2 credit scores either, but some of us live in between there, and that's where Elliot comes.
That's why I always. You know how we were talking about, Ted and I were talking like, Elliot, why you pushing the limits? Like it wasn't my doing, dude. No, but you're 100% correct.
Yeah.
I mean, if you do the right thing from the very beginning and get truly approved and start working with the lender, start giving me everything that you need, so I can deliver this for you. Okay, I'll make it smooth. Even when the situations are not the optimal that should be. I try to make the whole experience as smooth as possible. Okay, that's my goal. I try not to stress our customers because, let's be realistic, it's scary to buy a home.
Absolutely.
Okay,
probably the scariest thing most people do financially in their lives.
I can put almost that next to when you're getting married.
Yeah,
if you think about it,
when you talk about that moment, it's right there. With,
I do.
First child. I mean, that's right in there at those moments where you're like, what did I just do? Everything puckers.
Let's be realistic. Most people probably may agree to this.
Yeah.
At least when you get married, you sign one piece of paper.
That's true. That's a valid point.
When you buy a house, you sign a bunch of papers.
You sign about $1 million. You're not even sure of everything you're signing.
But you're right. And nothing wrong about getting those applications out there, those automated system. We have automated system, but no matter what, even when somebody does an application and it looks all good, I still need to interview the individual to find out 100% where we at.
Yeah.
Okay.
And to be honest, the process is constantly evolving and changing, and this is where Ellie can guide you. Even when you're good to go and you're like, all right, everything's approved, and then you're looking for your house, you find the house, but you're in the closing process, you're still in that till the day your keys are handed to you and you're able to go into that place for yourself. There is possibilities that it could fall through.
Correct.
It's so many, and it could be something as little as someone forgot to sign something to, you just went and messed up and spent $2,000 worth of furniture on credit before you closed the deal here. Now that messes up our numbers.
And that's true. And that's the conversation that sometimes me and Ted had.
Yeah.
Like, Ellie, you pushing the limit.
Yeah.
That's exactly when those things should never happen.
Yeah, exactly.
Because imagine if we just right there that we just cannot go any higher or whatever, and somebody, even though we tell them don't do anything new, don't change anything, let us know any financial changes.
Yeah.
And then what happens is they get a little too excited and go to Home Depot.
Sure.
And this sounds crazy, but this is how important it is. They can go to Home Depot and go and just buy one refrigerator or a stove or something like that, right? The problem with that is this, guys, okay? And everybody that's listening out there, it's best just to wait for one reason only. Even though you may get that 12 months, 24 months, no payments, we still have to calculate a number for whatever balance you have. And if as crazy as it sounds, even $25 or $50 can kill your deal. Okay.
Yeah, it's crazy,
and it's very crazy. I had a deal that I had to adjust and almost lost everything because of $10.
That's crazy.
Okay?
And you're just like, here's $10. Let's just.
I know. It's like the guy didn't pay Amazon, card.
Yeah.
And we ended up finding out that he actually had 2, not 1. Okay. And the $10 never went in. Before you know it, they're charging them.
That's pretty much a clerical error, but they turned it into a whole.
They took it to the next level.
I knew a friend is something similar. I'll tell you.
The bad part of this is this, guys. I overcame the $10. Okay.
Yeah,
I did.
A lot wouldn't even messed with that. They'd been like, "I'm sorry."
What happened is this: there's rules sometimes depending on the circumstances. So I was able to do one exception. Okay, one exception. When we were getting closer to getting ready, the person didn't pay that $10. And then we find out that there was another account, and that account charged hundreds of dollars because the renewal, whatever. I don't even know.
Fees or whatever. And
let's put it like this. I did the loan, and even after today, I still don't understand what happened. Okay. So ended up having that he had an extra, and he was thinking the Amazon accounts, it was the same. They were not the same. There were two.
Okay.
So now I don't have another exception for the second one that was not paid. Now you 30 days late.
Yeah.
You know, some
Now
of
it's
those
gonna
first time
ding you.
programs, you know, there's no
No
wiggle
wiggle room, yeah.
You know, so we had to regroup. I still got in my house, but that put a stop on what we
You
were
had
doing.
to go to Plan B and do a okey doke to get that
And I
happen.
hate Plan B's and Plan C's. Trust
Yeah.
me. I always like my Plan A. My Plan A, it has to go because I hate scrambling.
I knew a guy that, and this was, he was in the middle of getting a loan for his house, new home, and everything.
Okay.
And this was in Artesia several years ago, but it was right at the time when our phone carriers were switching around, and so I think Verizon was coming to the area, and whatever carrier this person had was going away, so they were going to lose their phone, so they had to get a new phone.
Whoa.
And that's just it. And they were right in the middle of it. So in essence, they had to get a new Verizon plan in the middle of in the process, and that almost cost them. They were finally, and the bank went back and forth with them and everything else. But because of the fact that they literally had to get a new phone because their other one was going away, they were able to make that exception. But over that, they almost lost the deal that they had been working hard to get this thing, you know, making sure the owners, and it was an Artesia. So it wasn't so much the financing number, it was the price point of the home they were back and forth and on and everything like that. But, you know, once they finally got that cert, I was like, oh, by the way, I need to get a Verizon phone. You know, and it almost fell through because they needed a phone.
And guess what?
That's what we're talking about when we're talking about that.
And you remember when I was here with Alejandra, and she was talking about reserves, that we asked for reserves for a reason.
Yeah.
Sometimes there's deals that you have to have reserves. All right? Maybe your credit's not the best, and we want you to be somewhat, you know, responsible. And second, we want you to have money after we close.
Sure.
Okay.
So not living in an empty house with a lawn chair and
yeah,
some
we
ramen.
talked about that too. You know, so sometimes that is. I had a deal one time that I was going back and forth, and Ted asked me, "Why do you rent the scenario so many times?" Like, because I didn't know how much money they needed to have in the bank.
Yeah.
You know, it's not like you tell us automatically. Some kind of like genie tell you, "Hey, you need to have this much."
Sure.
You know, every scenario is
You're
different.
trying to forecast.
Yeah.
And you're trying to prognosticate.
Every scenario is
Yeah.
different. So I had a deal that because of $50 that they needed to have in the bank, I was like, and it's not quite like me give you $50.
Yeah.
You have to have your own $50.
Well, and I know it sounds weird, and it sounds, but at the end of the day, financial institutions are giving you money, and they are going to dot every I and cross every T to make sure that they lend to people that they think will actually pay them back.
Correct.
And so if they see a lot of this, even though it's tiny minutia, it's still minutia. They're like, okay, is that going to be more minutia once we give them the loan? And I'm late because of X.
That's correct.
That's the only reason why it's doing it. They're trying to establish. They're trying to learn and see if you're a pretty good person with money or you are poor with money.
And let's be realistic.
Yeah.
I mean, we got programs out there to help the people that have a little bad credit.
Yeah.
Okay. But let's also keep in consideration, we do not dictate all the rules either.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, every lender company has their own internal guidelines.
Mm-hmm.
But in the end of the day, the feds, okay, dictate everything. The government really tell us what to do. A lot of people sometimes think like we're asking just for things because Elliot just feel this morning.
but the rates and what you offer,
I feel this morning so awesome that I just want to ask you for this. You know, I just want to bug the hell out of you and ask you for this. No, everything that we ask you is because it has to be.
Mm-hmm.
Trust me. My goal is to minimize paperwork if I could.
Sure.
Okay? Because the less paperwork, the easier it is.
Less possibilities of things falling through the cracks.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But the point is, there's rules and there's federal guidelines that we have to uphold. And that's every lender.
Yeah.
That's not just me, you know?
And they're in place for a reason, because what happens is, and this is how the rich get richer, and the poor, you know, because you know, that's why the real estate market, people, that's an investment thing. And so it's, you know, for most of us, it's home and it's creating our home, but for some it's investments. And so you've got people with different reasons for getting property, and therefore they use tactics and things that are a little more fly by the seat of your pants or risky or fuzzy on the legality. Sometimes you're stretching things a little bit.
I mean, that's
and
true.
so to to mitigate as much of that as possible, and to keep it to where those folks can't run roughshod over people that are just trying to live in a house. That's why the federal government has these things in place, and so that's the reason. It's and this is I'm going to get into government and how government should be. This is where our federal government should be. Their job is to make the playing field level for everybody, not pick favorites. So when it comes to the business world, when they talk about this, that's when they should get involved. Now, luring you to this company or that company, stay the heck out of that. That's none of your business. But to ensure that a company just can't promise you the world and then go about and turn around, well, and clause here, and here, you did that. Well, that's crazy. That's where the feds come in and try to keep it them. I'm not saying CMG, but that's a history. People, whenever there's someone giving you somebody, there's going to be people that try to circumnavigate that system.
I mean, yes,
and that's where it's there to prevent that.
We used to talk about, like, I feel like I'm trying to make something happen that it shouldn't be there. No, it's just the guidelines and the compliance and all that stuff is in place for a reason.
Absolutely.
Okay, I mean, the best way I can always explain any of my customers is like, would you like me to be here 6 months from now or a year from now?
Sure.
And they ask me, sure. And like, why you ask that? Because I cannot do what you're asking.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we asking you to do this, because this is the proper and the right way to do it.
Absolutely.
And if you do it the right way, you'll still have your house next year. I'll still be here for you if you want to refinance or if you want to send somebody to me to help them.
Sure.
It's very important that we follow the rules.
Mm-hmm.
If we don't follow the rules and we start bending, and you know this, the moment that you start bending the rules and you start compromising, you compromise more,
Sure.
and you compromise more.
One begets this, and
yes,
next
exactly.
thing you know, you have a mess.
And that's the way. Hey, we know this. That's how kingdoms, crumble. Okay, they get greedy and start doing all these crazy things, and then before you know it,
use the lessons that other people learn the hard way.
Exactly.
And that's exactly what it's about.
No, but yeah, I mean, we all have the programs that you can go out there and get pre-approved in the system right away. But you still have to talk to somebody personally.
Sure. And there's nothing wrong with all that.
And there's nothing wrong with all that.
As long as you know what you're doing.
Exactly. In talking to a lender, like really having a conversation, at least you know as an individual that, that you're good to go.
Mm-hmm.
We spoke about this before.
Sure.
I had a borrower that wanted to do a refi, and they said, yes, you can do it, and I said, no, you can't. Okay? I mean, let's all these different things that you didn't put in that application from, that you have with this other lending company.
Sure.
Like, they were going to find that out afterwards.
Yeah.
I found that out from the very beginning. It's amazing because I talk to people and I ask them questions, and in 5 minutes or 10 minutes, I kind of see all the picture.
Sure.
And they telling me, but they told me this over here, or they told me I cannot do it. I mean, it goes both ways.
Sure.
I got situations that I was over there, they telling me they couldn't do it. It's like, well, I don't know what the heck in God's name they were doing because yes, you can.
Sure.
And then I get the other side of the quarter. I was approved over there, and they come. I wanted to get your second opinion, and not that I'm trying to kill the deal over there. Like, no, I think you need to adjust to a different number.
Sure.
That you can't go that high.
Well, and that's just it. You got to be, as a customer, as a person, you have to be savvy on the sales pitch sometimes. And what I mean by that is, and this is where Elliot will come in. Elliot's not going to sugarcoat or try to tell you something that really is not good for you. Whereas somebody else be like, well, okay, I can get you approved here because that's what you want to be. That's not necessarily where you really are. I'll say, well, yeah, I can make those numbers happen what they don't say is if you sell the farm or do by the way, you're going to have to get rid of your $400 car payment. They don't tell you that because to really afford it, and because they want they want you to be a part of their thing.
Mm-hmm.
Elliot's going to be different, and that's where Elliot will say, yes, in theory, that's number, but here's what you're going to have to sacrifice to do that. Or, you know what? Rather than shoot for that number, let's knock $20,000 off this thing.
Exactly.
And now that puts you in where your monthly payments are more in line with something that you're with. You're not going to have to sell the car or downsize on something else to make your payments affordable here.
That is correct.
And that's the difference. The guy, a lot of these folks that lend, and it's not just homes, cars. I mean, anytime you're making a major purchase like that, when they're telling you I can get you approved, yes, they are, but not to be approved where it works in your budget, to be approved to meet their criteria to get you approved so that their people will say yes.
Correct.
That's all they're telling you. And that's the difference. Elliot's like, I'm looking at your situation and I'm telling you what you can afford.
Correct.
They're looking at the generic numbers. You make X, you have this much debt. Yeah, in theory it's here, but they don't cover the fact that you like to watch movies on Saturdays and go to a movie, or that you have to get your Starbucks every day or whatever else. And they don't care or tell you that. So they're not going to tell you, yeah, you can afford it, but guess what? You're going to have to change your lifestyle. You can't be spending $10 on coffee every morning. You're going to have to go brew a batch or something.
You're 100% correct.
Yeah.
I talk to some people, and when they're pushing the limit, I say, now, yes, I can get you approved in paper. Okay. Now, are you okay with that number?
Yeah.
Are you going to be okay not ordering a handful of pizzas this month?
Exactly.
and the next month and the next months after that.
Sure.
And adjusting the way of life, and that's what Alejandra and I were talking about before, that she was talking about reserves and about how much money you're going to be spending later, because even if you're renting, sometimes lately you can probably get a mortgage at the same amount you were renting, or maybe even a little less, because rent is getting very expensive now.
Absolutely.
But there's also the other side of that quarter as well. Sometimes people want to buy even more, and a little higher than the regular monthly payment the rent payment that they were paying before.
But generally, those people are willing to sacrifice.
And they're willing to sacrifice. And that's when I always tell them, like, all right, so you were paying $850. Now your mortgage payment is going to be $1,100. Okay. Remember, now you're paying about $150 to $200 more than what you used to. Just keep that in consideration.
Sure.
And because the thing is this: in paper you could do so much. Now, I get this all the time, but we make more money. It's like, for the folks out there that are listening, not because you're making, I'm going to make a very high and simple number, okay? But just to give a perspective. Let's say a person is making $10,000 a month. That doesn't mean we have $10,000 to be able to buy a house.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. In general terms, 50% of that, which will be $5,000, is your limit on income that you can use. So saying all that is this: if you have a vehicle and you have a bunch of other loans, okay, and those are like about, let's say, an example of $2,500 to $3,000. Now you only have $2,000 budget for payments monthly for the home that you want to buy. Not because you're making more and more money means you can buy even a bigger house.
Yeah.
It's a mistake to think that way, and that's why you need to talk to somebody like me so we can explain to you that, no, you cannot use the whole entire $10,000, okay?
Yeah.
So that makes a big difference,
Sure.
Depending on how much debt you have.
If all you had was that house and that's it, then you're
that'd be
just fine.
it'd be nice. Perfect.
You got to eat, you got to sleep, you got to breathe.
Yeah.
Drink from time to time.
Well, yeah, so that's the
How to
thing.
live.
There's a percentage, and most bank in general is 43%. That's the limit that they do.
I'll tell you what, for me, I bought my first home late. I was like 27 or something when I first, which I don't know if that's late or whatever it is. It is what
When
it
you
is.
and I look at it back now, it's like, I wish we would have bought it when we were 21.
Yeah.
So
But that's kind of, we were in that boat. Well, now, you know what? I was a little older. I was about 30 because I got married when I was 20, so it was
I
about 30.
think I did the same.
Yeah,
I was about 30 or something like that,
But I will tell you this. I did not have a car payment until I bought my home, my first home. After the first home, and it wasn't even right away. It was, and my wife and I, we were married a good 4 or 5 years before we bought our first home. We rented two different places before we there. And my wife had bought her car prior to getting married. She had paid it off. She had payment over Ford Contour. I had my LeBaron that I'd been driving for 13 years. And I kept them. My wife was like, "Ooh, let's get this new." I said, "No, no." And I put my foot down hard. Our first 5 years, we didn't buy nothing new. I was like, "No, bedroom suite. Oh, it's on sale. Don't care. We got hand-me-downs. We're fine." And we didn't make any major. We didn't have any. We bought things, but we didn't have any financial burdens like car payments and things.
Correct.
Only thing we had was our mortgage. We had a little on a credit card, and that was about it. So when I bought my first home, that was an issue. But then I got smart and stay within my means. Okay, now and to be honest, our mortgage is hundreds less than what we were approved for. Like we could have been approved here. We were like, no. I'm keeping my mortgage. It's like $700 a month. My house because I got it at a low interest rate.
I love how you say it's so low. They're still hearing you.
I know. I do this kind of thing, but it's cheap, man. It's cheap.
Hey, there's nothing. Hey,
But
look, there's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, but I did it that way by design. So now I have a house, and now I bought my Jeep, and I got a $400 or $500 a month car payment now. But I'm in a place where that's not going to burden me because I've worked the deals and Kim and I were smart at the beginning, and now we're able to afford those without burdening us. And obviously, I'm making a little more money than I was when I bought that first house, and so is my wife, and we're financially better off. But I did everything I could to drive cars that didn't cost me $400 a month. And when my 13-year-old car died, I went and got another used car for like $1,000 and drove it for another couple years until, I said, now it's time to break down and and then I leased a car after that was the next one.
I tell you what, the Jeep that I have right now, okay, I have always bought a used vehicle. I don't even recall if I have ever gone to the dealership and bought a brand new car. I don't know if I ever have.
I have now, but I didn't for a while.
I don't know if I have. Now, the Jeep I have right now, it was like a year or 2 year old when I got it, and I have almost very minimal mileage, But it's funny. But I have always tried not to have no car payments, and I don't have no car payments because I try to pay it off super fast, And that's the same way with mortgages or any car payments or anything you have. Depending on how you do and how you balance your your income sheet, you just need to try to get to the debt-free situation. If you have a mortgage, that's understandable. Okay, usually mortgages are a big loan.
That's an acceptable.
That's an acceptable loan time.
Yes.
But at the same time, if you clear all those things, you pay off your cars. You pay over your vehicle, and you have no debt. Now concentrate on paying off your mortgage fast. Okay, there's nothing wrong about trying to pay your home faster.
It's all a win for you.
Exactly.
The mortgage is the one time you're giving money to someone else that's actually an investment yourself.
And that is a fact.
It's a one time ever. Cars don't do it, with a few exceptions, unless you own some kind of rare car. But for the most part, they depreciate, and you'll never get your money back on them. A house, if you do it right, you're going to get more money back than what you paid for. So
and guys, the market is still doing so well. Okay, I mean, you will look at the news and see all these different things, and you'll be like, "What's happening?"
Yeah,
But the market still somewhat interests are going up, but you could still get a real nice low interest loan. Still.
Absolutely.
Okay, so this is the time. I'll be saying it. I think in the next 6 months from now, it's going to be a pinnacle moment to see where we're going to be at later next year. I think for the next 2 or 3 months, it's going to be somewhat similar. Okay. But at the same time, we need to prepare for those. Because it's coming.
Yeah, it's about time where those interest rates are going to start going.
Yeah, it's coming.
Going this way up. And so we're all waiting for that to happen, and it's going to. But they're getting still good right now.
And all the masters of the universe, they've been completely off for the past 2 years.
Oh yeah,
because we've been saying this and that is going to change to this, and like no, it stayed the same.
Yeah, they're like weatherman. They're getting it wrong all the time.
They're getting all crazy all over the place.
We're out of time here, but if you are listening here and you're saying, you know what, I need to call Elliot here. I need to. I think let's make the move here and see my situation. I'd love to make 2022, the first part of 2022, my time to get into a new house here. Reach out to Elliot at CMG Financial. You can call him direct. I'm going to say call his cell. That's probably the best way with the COVID world and
everything
offices
is going on now.
People everywhere. Call him direct at on his cell at 719-237-4680. Again, that's 719-237-4680. You can also visit his website. It's erodriguez.cmgfi.com.
Correct.
And then if you'd like to shoot an email, which you'll find the link at his website, erodriguez.cmgfi.com. You can email him, same thing, erodriguez@cmgfi.com.
That is correct.
And that way. And, of course, look for Elliot on Facebook as well.
Elliot Rodriguez. Check me out, and you get to see some of the stuff that we're doing.
Yeah, and then you shoot him a message through there and say, hey, I heard you on the radio, or I heard about you. I want you to talk to me about my stuff.
If you want to see what Mike Winters looks like and Elliot looks like, you could look us up there too.
Well, I can speak for me. It's nothing to be too impressed about.
I think he's being humble at this moment because I've been a lot of people telling me, he's a very good looking individual. He's a very handsome man and all that. So
there's a reason I got in radio and not in television. That's all I'm saying.
But no, folks, we are here to help you. If you're buying a house for the first time, or this is your second one, the fifth home you want to buy. If you want somebody that actually will take care of you, really care about what I do. Okay, I really go the extra mile for my customers, and I want to make sure that you are taken care, and we delivered the outcome that you're looking for in the end.
Absolutely. Let Elliot be kind of a mentor for you when it comes to be your first time home buyer here on this. So. And even if you're an expert, he probably got a trick or two to help you make it a little smoother as well.
You know what? Sometimes it's just about what you know to make the difference.
Absolutely.
Okay.
Experience pays off big time.
Does.
And Elliot's got plenty of it. Let him use it for you.
I have to say, lately's paying off pretty good because I come with some situations that a lot of people probably would not been able to, come out of it, the way it should be.
Sure. Getting crafty, getting, working the system.
But Merry Christmas.
Merry Christmas to you and your family, and we'll see you in a brighter 2022.
That's right.
Hopefully brighter.
And Happy New Year. Shoot,
and Happy New Year.
It's almost here.
I know. Next week we'll be a year older.
Hopefully we'll have no COVID next year. Yeah, right.
Yeah, right. Thanks, Elliot. We'll see you next time.
I had to throw that in there. I'm sorry.
It'll disappear magically. All right, 9:15. Quick break before we turn the airways over to Travis and Sexton. Go away.
Get Grinchy this Christmas at Roswell Honda. The Grinch stole Christmas and brought it all to Roswell Honda. And that means great deals for you across the lot, like a Honda Odyssey for just $99 a month. Get a free pecan pie and even a trip to Vegas just for stopping by, and a free HD TV with purchase. And register to win one of 3 Michael Kors purses, a Keurig, an air fryer, and even a 65-inch 4K smart TV. Leave the hoo-hash at home and head for Roswell Honda, 2177 West 2nd. And Merry Christmas.
You're invited. Come be a part of the grand opening celebration of the Valley Cafe on Tuesday, December 14th. Located inside the 180 Youth Building at Church on the Move on Brasher in Roswell. Enjoy soups, salads, sandwiches, burgers, and more. Try some of their signature recipes, like the sweet and spicy burger with honey jalapeno bacon barbecue sauce, Chef Anthony Noble's fried avocados, and the Smotherman burger with creamy green chili sauce. Need a morning pick-me-up? Swing by for coffee or breakfast burritos on your way to work. The all-new Valley Cafe, open Monday through Friday, 7 to 3. Stop in for breakfast, lunch, or even a snack after school.
Your home for Armed American Radio is 106.5 FM, KEND Roswell.